tradition is born in the city of brotherly love. Union in Philadelphia are champions.
In Manchester, New Hampshire, to open the NCAA hockey tournament, the region's top seed, Boston University, and freshman phenom Jack Eichel showcased the nation's best offense, while sophomore Alex Lyon backstops Yale as the best defensive team in the country. The road to the Frozen Four begins now. Welcome to the NCAA Hockey Championships, presented by Northwestern Mutual. 16 teams into the tournament here. It begins today with 4 regional contests, including 2 here inside the Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire, where the region's top seed, Boston University, takes on the Yale Bulldogs. Hi there, friends. Welcome inside Verizon Wireless Arena. I'm Dan Parkhurst. Let's take a look at the brackets here at the Northeast Regional. 2 teams in via automatic bids after winning their tournament titles. The Boston University Terriers winning Hockey East, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, the Big Ten champions, 2 at-large teams here as well, and the Yale Bulldogs and the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. As I welcome in Billy Jaffe, a former Michigan Wolverine, one of the top analysts in hockey. And Billy, we got a pretty good region here.
We got better than pretty good. This is awesome. Are you kidding me? Top offense, top defense, game 1. And then, 2 heated rivals from the state of Minnesota. We got darn lucky to be in this region.
Well, one of the reasons the BU Terriers are the best offensive team in the country, without a doubt, is freshman phenom Jack Eichel. He scored the most points of any freshman in BU history.
And the most in the NCAA since 92-93, when a guy by the name of Paul Correa played for me. This guy's absolutely electrifying. Amazing acceleration. Can do it all. Has done it all for this team. He makes it happen. But Jack Eichel knows it's not just about him. There have been other keys to the team's success this year.
Our leadership core has been it's been spectacular, and I think that's why our team's had the success that we've had. I mean, starting last summer, 10 freshmen move in, and we start working out as a team, and all the upperclassmen that have been here and had previous relationships really welcomed us as if we had been there, and I think that's what's made our team so special is our bond, and Grizzy and Evan and Kaysen have done an unbelievable job of kind of bringing in the reins when needed and just being leaders.
And Grizzy is that guy right there, Dan. Matt Grzelcyk, first-team All-Hockey East defenseman, the captain of the Terriers. He's been spectacular this year. 36 points after just 34 points in his first 2 years. Had a shoulder injury, had to get it stronger. He is stronger right now. He's been a key cog to their success, too, especially getting the puck out of their own zone. He is a great player.
And we talk about the Yale defense being #1 in the nation as well. You can't have that without good goaltending. Alex Lyon, their sophomore netminder, 10 career shutouts, 7 of those this season.
He's been awesome in net. And you want to talk about a guy that comes from Minnesota and the walleye capital of the world, from Baudette, Minnesota. Well, he has been the captain of this team defensively. Yes, he's got other guys around him too, but this guy's been a stalwart. He's got great positioning, great mindset, heart and soul guy, according to his coach, Keith Elaine. This guy, too, has been a heart and soul guy. Tommy Fallon, the captain of the team, he'll log 30-plus minutes from the back end. Also, the fastest skater, they say, on the Yale team. This is the kind of guy that you can help build your team around. It might be defense first, but they want to skate. He helps lead the way.
Let's take a look at how Yale and Boston University plan for success are brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
All right, we'll start with Keith Elaine. There he is. The forecheck is so important. Get their feet moving early on. Keep BU penned in their own zone. Stick to the same approach, the same disciplined approach. Limited penalty minutes. That's been their key this year. He wants to continue it in this game against BU. And there's their head coach, David Quinn. He needs an energized first period from his young team, the youngest team, in fact, in the nation, and then get some secondary scoremen. The Kaysen Holman line, for instance, perhaps Matt Lane's line. Get guys to help add to it, because if they do that, then you still got to worry about the Eichel line. BU becomes even scarier to defend against.
Yeah, how great is this? Kicking off the NCAA hockey tournament. 4 games here today. The other 2 regionals getting underway tomorrow. Let's look here at the offense against defense matchup here in this one. Boston University, top in the nation in goals scored per game. Yale, stingy on the defense. As we're set for action from here at Verizon Wireless Arena, the Eichel line. We'll start against the line of Tachara, Cooper, and Learned. Underway, Whittick. Played that to center. O'Regan gets a stick on that one there. Puck gets cleared deep into the zone. McLeod going after it. We're going to get an icing call here. Take a look at Matt O'Connor in the Boston University net. He was the all-tournament goaltender just a week ago with his team winning the Hockey East Championship. O'Connor, great numbers on the season, and really one of the most highly touted free agents maybe on the market coming out of the college game this year.
Yeah, no question about it. At least 8, up to 15 NHL teams looking at him. But, he could have been the Hockey East MVP in the tournament last weekend. He was excellent, in particular, in the Friday game, especially in the first period, keeping BU in it when they started a very nervous first period.
Well, it's a BU team that has had great success in the third period. They've had some slow starts this year, including that game, as you noted last week. Here's DeChara working his way into the zone. DeChara, turnaround shot here, and there's the first touch of the game for O'Connor with a blocker stop, and now he gloves one down as well and holds on. So a couple early saves there for the junior Matt O'Connor, Toronto, Ontario native.
A little chip out of the zone previously there from the Bulldogs in their own end, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're comfortable keeping the puck along the wall, pushing it out, but they've got to make sure when the puck is there, get it through the neutral zone. Don't give BU extra chances in the offensive zone.
Hayden sends us back around behind, trying to jam that in from the goal line on the far side. Stu Wilson, this puck thrown out in front once again, and Terry is able to work it up ice. Oxenden converted to a forward this year after a couple years as a blue liner for the BU Terriers, and that's worked out pretty well. He's scored 23 goals this year for BU.
Had some time with the top line, has settled in with this second line. He's done a really, really good job. Doesn't look to have any issues going from D to forward.
Oxenden tried to go back. Cross point there to Hickey. Now Holman throws it up to Hickey. Played down into the skates there of Holman and rolled to the front of the net. Then it got swept away by Fallon. Ruffalo to neutral. And Trent Ruffalo will steer it in. Fortunato back behind the Terrier net. One of 4 freshman defensemen on this BU team. Hickey cleared it out. Obakowski for the Bulldogs. Velargion couldn't handle that at center ice. Obakowski again. Played to center, trying to redirect that one in. It gets in across the line. Doherty played it down, trying to work his way back around behind the net here. Hitchcock, and this again will be grabbed by O'Connor for a face-off.
Let's take a look how Yale defending early on in this game. They're going to have pucks down there, come into their own zone. You take a look, man-on-man defense right there. Everybody's covered. Puck rotates up top, but then again, bodies in front of the net. A little stick check there from Line doesn't even have to happen because he had numbers back there, and that's what Yale's going to do. They come back very, very hard to the back of their net, that net front area, and they help out Line.
Larkin tries a shot through a screen, but that's blocked off the leg of Olsen. Bulldogs will have to regroup. Way ahead, Day tried to backhand one in. That gets knocked down at the line. Pushed up and out here by Diffley. Doherty will be able to clear it in for the Bulldogs. Collision on the back wall there. Summerby trying to come away with it. Zed back up for Obakowski. Goes cross point there. Rapensky will knock it down low. Diaco played it to the wall. Phelps trying to find it on the boards, far side. Orzetti able to work it back up to the point. Phelps tries to tie up the man, but working his way around. Biacco, puck cleared. This is going to get all the way down, and we'll get an icing call here against the Boston University Terriers. Take a look at the coach matchup in this one. Keith Elaine, he took over the program back in 2006. His 9th season now. He has led the Bulldogs to 5 national tournaments in his 9 seasons. David Quinn, just his 2nd year as the Boston University head coach. A 9-win season last year, Billy, for the BU Terriers. 25 so far this year.
Just a little difference. Yeah, just a slight difference. Huh? Both coaches really happy with their team this year. Both of them commenting, especially on how tight-knit both squads are.
Roberto cleared in, Line gloved it down, wants to spring it quickly up ice here. DeChara, ahead Cooper. Now Rodriguez. No one's been better since the turn of the new year in all of college hockey than Rodriguez. This puck up ice. There's Rodriguez trying to sneak back behind the defense. Evan Rodriguez pulls up there. Back out through center. Carson Cooper. And there's number 9, Jack Eichel. This pass, not a good one. Cooper stepped into the lane there to intercept. He's able to throw it deep. McLeod around. Rodriguez clears it. Eichel. Those long strides up into the zone. Eichel to the middle. Lyon has to just stick with it there to make the stop. Laid down by Rodriguez. Eichel gets it here. Eichel trying to shield the puck on the boards. Rob O'Gara, one of the best defensemen in college hockey. In fact, the best defensive defenseman in the ECAC this year.
And doing a nice job there is a tag team along the wall on Jack Eichel, taking away his time and space. You're going to hear us talk about that an awful lot because that is what Yale is going to try and do. You had a forward in there and John Hayden. You had the big defenseman in O'Gara, and they sealed off the wall.
Holman tries to sneak through. He gets the backhander away, and Lyon holds on.
Good effort there by Kason Holman, but before as we see a little bit of stuff in front of the net, Jack Eichel and his acceleration, and you got to see it to believe it. That's all I can. That's the way you describe it. At first, I didn't quite believe it. And how does he continue to get by guys? He just does because of the way that he goes. And I hear Kason Holman, who has had just a spectacular season as well, oozing confidence right now, coming in one of the leaders of this team. Little outside-inside move right there. You can tell already early on here, Dan. You've got the physical play along the wall from Yale. You're trying to get speed if you're BU through the middle of the ice. Which contrasting style will win out in this game? That could be a key to it.
You talk about Eichel, and it's just the stride. It's so smooth, and it looks effortless.
It's after the first two strides. Right. I mean, that's the thing.
Oxenden here tries a sharp angle shot. Stop made by Lyon. Summerby pitches down. He gets a bit away. Lyon shrugs that off the shoulder. Oxenden here. Back up for Summerby. Tried to give it back to Oxenden. That might have got out to center ice. Yep. It did. And an offside call here as Jack Eichel, one of the Hobey Baker finalists this year. He's out of North Chelmsford, Massachusetts, captain of the 2015 U.S. National Junior Team. Get a look here as we learn more about Jack Eichel. And Billy, you and I got to talk to him for quite a stretch yesterday. And you know what? As much attention as he gets, he's still a pretty well-grounded kid. Very
well-grounded. Obviously, a lot of it is owed to his parents, and they've grounded him well. They've kept him real, and he cherishes, relishes his relationship with his parents. And the fact is that he's a hockey player. Yes, he understands that he's a darn good one, but he's a hockey player, knows that there's expectations on him, and doesn't take it for granted.
Biacco trying to get away from Grizzlick in the corner. Orzetti now. He's chased by Lane. Orzetti comes away with it. We're going to get a penalty call here. Yale's going to get the first power play chance of the game. An early opportunity here for the Bulldogs.
Remember, we talked keys to the game. Feet moving, right? If you're Yale. Continuous feet moving. That just doesn't mean straight line hockey. That also means shaking and baking along the wall and maneuvering with the puck. And here's a good example with the puck along the wall there. You see the trip from behind. Grizzlick's going to be called for the penalty, and it's all about movement. And again, getting the puck in deep for Yale is going to be key in this game. They can't just play a neutral zone game and have transitional opportunities going the other way. They get it deep, they get their first forechecker going, they work the wall, they can create some opportunities, and here they get a power play.
So the first man advantage chance here of the game for Yale. This puck cleared up, not out, kept in. Here's O'Gara at the near side. O'Gara goes back across ice. They got deflected, but it stays alive here for a shot that goes up over the top from DeChara. Face-off staying here inside the zone.
DeChara leads the way with 4 power play goals. He's from Ronkonkoma, New York, a suburb on Long Island. Here's a kid who's really developed. He's a big, big boy, almost 220 pounds, 6'3". He's really developing his game. Coach Keith Lane talked about how he really, especially this year, has really brought on more and more the kind of player that plays with some good emotion. And here he's getting a good opportunity on the power play.
Points in 4 straight for DeChara. DeChara here. This finds Cooper. Back up for a shot there that gets all the way through. Finding a bit of a seam there with that shot, Rapinski. Eichel will gather in here. Terriers on the penalty kill, 83.3% on the season. They have scored 7 shorthanded goals on the year. Nate Rapinski. Now lugged out to center. Tommy Fowler, the senior defenseman. Gives that over to Cooper. Fortunato flipped it up the boards. Holman able to get it out. Rodriguez and Holman, the 2 seniors up ice into the zone, shorthanded. Holman tries to get the shot away. He got tugged. There'll be a call. couldn't get the clean shot away. Holman arguing for perhaps a penalty shot. Doesn't look like that's coming, but that'll wipe out the rest of this power play.
And I don't think it should be a penalty shot either. From the view that we have right here, as the puck comes clean through the neutral zone, Rodriguez just softly distributes it up. I mean, just a little dish right there. It's the hands that get hit by Rapensky. He's arguing he was free and clear behind him. I think the stick, the angle that the official was there, saw Rapensky's stick come in at the angle.
So no score here early. The first game of the NCAA Northeast Regional. 4-on-4 hockey when we come back to Manchester.
Matt Schick here in the studio. Busy day today and tomorrow. Again, you're watching the first of 4 regional semis today. 4 more coming up tomorrow. Again, it all culminates in the Frozen Four beginning April 9th in Boston. Championship coming up April 11th. NCAA Men's Hockey Championship on the ESPN networks. Back out to New Hampshire. Got it.
Get a look here at the setup in our region. Boston University, the region's top seed, the number 3 overall seed here in this NCAA tournament. Dan Parker's Billy Jaffe, good to have you alongside. Yale advancing into this tournament as an at-large bid. Had to sit at home last weekend to the Yale Bulldogs after getting bounced from Harvard, who had such a great end of the season, winning the ECAC Hockey Championship last year. So Yale's had a little bit of time off. What are your takes here in the early action?
They're skating well. They're playing well. They're playing very physical. They're playing Yale hockey. I think Coach Lang talked about dictating pace, keeping tempo, keep doing what they've been doing for a lot of the season. So far, so good.
Kuchara works it in. Fortunato gets it. We got a 4-on-4 here for another 40 seconds before the Terriers, barring any other penalties. Here's an opportunity. Kuchara in. Backhand shot. Oh, he caught a piece of the iron. A turnover there and a great opportunity. Holman trying to work it back up ice here. Holman throws it back to Hickey. Shoots one in. That looked like it would go wide, but Ryan will grab it with a glove and hold on. But turnover, dangerous opportunity here.
Well, this is the speed again. This is what we're talking about. As Merlian's going to get the puck, he's going to pivot, turn, he's going to find Kuchara, who had been the first guy in the forecheck. Again, they're always looking with the first man to influence where they want the defense, in this case BU, to go with the puck. And so far, they've pushed them then a few times into areas where BU doesn't want to go. And we've seen a few turnovers by BU early on.
Rodriguez here, trying to play it down. This one picked off. Ruffalo. Obakowski now able to play it ahead. Rodriguez takes it back, and he'll reset it by handing it back to Oxenden. Oxenden plays second line, of course, but as Grzelcyk steps out of the box, Oxenden, a member of this first power play unit. Grzelcyk, the only defenseman, and he's the one who's working his way in deep here now. This puck wrapped around. It'll be Eichel. Got it off his skate there, and it deflected over for Obakowski. He's able to clear. 3/4 of a minute to go here on the first BU power play chance of the game. Up ice, O'Regan had it off his stick, and it's going to force an offside call that sends it out into center ice. Another look here at Keith Elaine, the head coach of the Yale Bulldogs.
And he talks about yesterday when we sat down with him for a while, how this group gives him energy. He says they're such a close group, maybe more than any other group he's had. And he's been here for a while. He's had some darn good teams. A couple of years ago, won an NCAA championship. But he seems really impressed with the way, how quickly they came together, how they battle for each other. And he talks about energy off of them. I think also they get energy from him because he lets them go. He lets them get after it. And that's what a hockey player wants. They don't want to hold back. You want to giddy up and go, and he lets them skate.
So you saw right there from Cooper, and you're seeing it right here from Cooper again as he gets right in Grizzlick's grill. And here comes Grizzlick now, finding a little room. Giving this down to Eichel. Back up now for Grizzlick. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Grizzlick shot through, trying to hook up there with O'Regan. This puck cleared up by Hitchcock and out in the center ice. O'Regan will look to regain the line. O'Regan had it knocked away. He recovers it. Swings it over to Rodriguez. Dances around one man. Looks to center it, but it's blocked. This puck does hop to the front. Wayne battles for it. Oh, and that's O'Gara with a strong defensive stick there to win that battle and clear it. Icing the call here against the Bulldogs. They'll regroup after killing off that BU power play.
Yeah, we're seeing some good BU puck movement right here. This is skill coming out. Here O'Regan's going to kind of slalom to the middle of the zone, deal with a few moguls that are also known as Yale Bulldogs. And then here's the nifty hands by Rodriguez. This is a kid who's playing with so much confidence coming in to this season. He was, last year he was down. Let's face it, they had a down year. You're talking about, 10 wins on the season. That was it. But this year, Evan Rodriguez has relished playing with these guys, and his stats show it.
This is the 20th game that top line for the BU Terriers has been together. Previously, Oxenden was on it. Here's a chance, though, with some speed up the middle. Doherty, and he's broken up as he gets wedged off there between Hickey and Fortunato. Wayne tries to jam it in, but that bounces to center ice. Ruffalo with some space. A big shot. It's well wide.
Way too many turnovers coming off the sticks of the BU Terrier defensemen. They're young, 4 freshmen. They've got to settle down a bit. On the flip side, Yale has been excellent at, again, putting them in areas where they're uncomfortable, and they have been able to turn into opportunities.
And here's another battle on the boards won by the Bulldogs. Ruffalo goes back behind the net. Gets it up to Count. Throw it down. It's going to get all the way around. A.J. Greer, who was moved on to that second line just a week ago in the Hockey East tournament at the TD Garden in Boston. Roberto plays it ahead here. Mike Moran. Got down to Greer. Roberto now. He'll try to work his way off the boards. Greer gives it to Eichel. Quick shot there. Goes through and out the far side. Eichel now picks it up here. Terrace in the middle of a change. Eichel tries to dance his way to the middle. He's broken up. Summerby bangs this ahead.
Middle of the ice defensive. Yale very comfortable bringing numbers to the middle of the ice, and they sort things out. It might look a little chaotic, but they know where they are, and sticks are down on the ice. They play an awful lot with sticks on the ice. That's why they're the least penalized team in the country.
Yeah, there's 7.2 penalty minutes per game. Eichel back from McLeod. Shot there is gloved again by Lyon, and he'll hold on. Midway through the opening period here and no score. The punishing road to the Frozen Four starts in the regionals, and every team has a shot at making history. At 5:30, Minnesota takes the ice against Minnesota Duluth. Then it's Quinnipiac versus North Dakota. The NCAA Hockey Championship regional semifinals continue tonight at 5:30 on ESPNU and watch ESPN. Hornet shoved off the puck there. O'Regan back up ice. O'Regan's had a good jump in his step so far in this opening game of the regional. Grizzlick shot here, eaten up by Lyon. 9:43 remaining here in this opening period. No score, BU and Yale. Back with more Northeast Regional semifinal action.
The NCAA Hockey Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together. And in part by Scott's. Get Scott's Turf Builder Lawn Food now and feed your lawn. Feed it.
You can share your pond or pool hockey setup with us on Twitter. Use the hashtag Frozen4. Give us some shots we can look at here over the course. One guy who's, he's played some on pond. One of his high school games was played on a pond up there in Beaudette, Alex Lyon, and he's been solid so far in the early action of this one, Billy.
Yes, he has, and he's had a good lane vision to see the shots coming in. This kid is, just so calm and so composed, good footwork, a very good athlete. And when he was young, when he was up to 6 years old, he had to take a boat, a rowboat to school, or powerboat, to another island to go to school. Living up there as his parents owned a fishing lodge, working his way. He said he's not a real walleye fisherman, though, himself. And it's the walleye capital of the world. How can you be how can you live there and not be a walleye guy?
People ask me this. I live up in the mountains in New Hampshire. Everybody always asks me if I ski, and I say no. And they look at me like I have two heads. But
well, you do.
Yeah, sometimes. Grizzlick will knock this down. Lyon, the Ken Dryden Award winner, is the ECAC Hockey Goaltender of the Year. Grizzlick, that shot blocked him. Boy, that nearly sprung Chara back the other way. Holman. Adi Oxen in here. Grizzlick tries to knock it down. O'Gara able to clear. McLeod right back the other way. Holman will backhand it down. Chara gets to center ice here. Tried to play that one ahead. It was deflected off the stick of Holman and gets deep.
You see that rim around breakup they just did there, Yale? They practiced that. They opened their practice yesterday with about 10 minutes of that. They're very comfortable using the wall, rimming it around, getting it out, and getting that speed going. They've done it a few times already in this game.
Lane gets this back behind the net. Trying to shake a check here. Matt Lane working his way back behind that. He keeps the legs churning and able to throw that one wide. Obakowski, way ahead. Doherty hit by Lane. Puck does get to center ice. Fortunato gives it over to Brandon Hickey. Calgary draft pick just a year ago.
That's the kind of shift, sorry, Danny, that they needed. BU needed. Get Lane's line in there, get it grinding it out. Show this team in Yale that they can play that style of game too, the grinded out game.
Hitchcock tries to force his way up the wall. Moran sends it back the other way. Nearly 12 minutes gone by here, opening period. Northeast regional action. And no score between the Terriers and the Yale Bulldogs. Ryan Tiffany. Pretty much every time the BU player on the defensive side touches the puck, we're going to get a penalty call here. And it's going to be another opportunity for the Terriers on the power play. So this Yale team not penalized much, but a couple penalties here. An abbreviated power play earlier for BU, and we'll see what they can do with this one.
Power forward John Hayden, 6'3", 210 pounds, and growing still. Here he's going to come in, and perhaps they're calling the follow through there. I didn't see the elbow up that high. Regardless, the official behind saw it a different way. And Yale goes shorthanded. I thought it was more of a follow-through there, but again, I didn't see any contact with the head. But Yale goes shorthanded.
Hayden, a former teammate with Eichel with the U.S. National Team Development Program. Terriers on their second power play chance of the game. Oxenden leading the way with power play goals this year for BU. He's got 9. His brother Tommy will open up his NCAA tournament action tomorrow with Harvard. Rodriguez gives us to Eichel a shot there, and even in traffic, he snaps it hard. Goes wide and out the far side. Now he's got to go back to his zone. This one turned over, a stick in the lane there, and that allows Doherty to send it back to kill off some time.
Real good read by Doherty there. Waited to see where Eichel was going to turn to. He didn't go too aggressively at him. Waited patiently for the play, and then when he turned, Eichel put the puck, or tried to put the puck past him. Did a nice interception.
Eichel's feet here. That's going to get down towards Obakowski, and he's able to send it back out into center ice.
Too many men on the ice for BU.
There were, definitely, no doubt about it there. So now we'll have a BU power play get wiped out partway through.
Yeah, this was a no-doubter, no-brainer. I mean, and the linesman ends up catching it. All right, let's take a look at this one here, and we'll show it to you. David Quinn not happy, and he shouldn't be happy with his team. They haven't handled the pressure well here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then number 6 is over there. I am not the brightest bulb, but I can count up to 10. I can tell you that. Hopefully we don't need to get up to 10. But that's 6, too many men on the ice, and easy for the official to catch.
If there's 10 out on the ice, we've really got an issue for a team.
Either that or it's open skate. One of the two.
Be an interesting way to decide overtime. Just put everybody out. Who needs 3-on-3 and 4-on-4? Oxenden will serve. So neither team able to keep a full power play going here. Yale got one that was cut off by a penalty, and then BU did the same.
This is the type of first period. Well, it hasn't been awful for BU, but it's not going to make Coach Quinn very happy. He's seen this before, where his young team, again, they're the youngest team in the NCAA hockey. They need to settle down, and they've been just okay. I have unofficially 4 turnovers. We saw those few quasi breakaways for Yale as well. BU hasn't been that settled.
Here's Hickey. He'll work his way all the way to the front of the net. Couldn't quite get the shot away cleanly. Obakowski. The junior defenseman lugs it all the way up ice here, gets the shot away, and O'Connor will hold on now for the Terriers.
What a nice play by Brandon Hickey. The Calgary draft pick is going to come through the neutral zone with such speed. He's going to force his way into the offensive zone there too. This is a really good young player. And Hickey's going to end up working to the front. Lyon's able to hold his ground though and keep it puck out of the net.
Long distance shot there, first from Yale in about 9 minutes. 4-on-4 rolls along here for another 23 seconds. And then a false start here on the face-off, so we'll reset. Eichel tossed out there. Rodriguez will come in to take it. Green face-off win with it. Sent to the middle. That's redirected but wide by Stu Wilson. He's also got a family connection in the NCAA tournament. His father, Wayne, the head coach of RIT. They'll also begin play tomorrow out in South Bend at the Midwest Regional. Here's Eichel working his way back behind the net. Boy, he shields the puck so well. Finds Grizzly. Takes the shot. It's blocked. Maybe some numbers here for Yale if they hustle it ahead as they get their power play going. Drop pass back here. Oh, it gets knocked away by Eichel, and Rodriguez will be able to find it. Rodriguez shorthanded here. And he's just going to try to tie it up into the kick plate there and kill off time. 40 seconds remaining here on Yale's second power play chance of the game, and finally a whistle that stops.
Taking the face-off outside the zone, though. Jack Eichel, earlier, you mentioned his speed, and also it's his reach. You talk about shielding the puck, too, there, but it's also his ability to extend the puck. You look at him and you say he's not Mario Lemieux, 6'4", 6'5", but yet it feels like he's that big because he has an uncanny ability just at the right time while in stride. He doesn't go on the tracks. He doesn't stop skating. He continues to do it in stride and extends the puck, makes his game longer.
Icing here against Yale. And half a minute to go on the power play. They'll have to reset it from back in their zone. Eichel, the first Hockey East player since Paul Correa turned both the Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. And the first player since Brian Leach turned both those awards and the Hockey East Tournament MVP award. Also became the first Hockey East player in 16 years to average 2 points a game or better in league play. Only 7 Hockey East players have ever done it.
It's a different era of hockey right now. Defense is more structured, more video, everything. So what do his 66 points, coming into this game, what do they equate to? Do they get close to Paul Correa's 100 points in the season? Many have argued that, yeah, they do.
Well, there was a time when if you had a goals against average of 3.8, it was considered pretty good. It is definitely not the age we live in here in college hockey now. I mean, all you got to do is look at Lions' numbers on the year. 1.58, his goals against average. Under 5 to go here in the first.
I miss those days. I do.
Doherty up into the zone. He'll take a shot in and out of the glove there of O'Connor. Definitely flip that ahead. He's going to try to find it now in some skates. Oxenden able to work it free. Plays one across. Balargian here. Just Eichel, a freshman. And now 3 straight years, a BU freshman, is going to lead the team in scoring. Belargian did it last year. He's missed a number of games this season with injury.
Well, another good defensive effort there by Yale. You know, they're obviously not as young as BU, and they're just keeping the play simple in their own zone. You have to be impressed with how structured they've come out in this game, and they haven't seemed intimidated at all.
Another turnover there as the Terriers tried to gain the line with some speed, but broken up and sent right back the other way by the Bulldogs. Olsen finds it here. Flips it into the zone. There's a check by Olsen that knocks Wittick down. Hayden played it near side. Ruffalo steers it in. 3.5 to go in the first. Trying to come off the wall with it there, Hayden. Now Greer. Fortunato glances up at the scoreboard to see how much time was left, and then works his way to center ice. Olsen will be able to dump it in. Krapinski here, freshman defenseman out of Duluth, Minnesota. Gave it over to Obakowski. That puck gets sent down ice, redirected, so no icing. Summerby. Right to Dipley, has to give it back to Summerby. Looks like a few times here. We get another turnover. Learned plays it over. Oh, that just got underneath Cooper, who tried to get a one-timer away.
Well, we're seeing turnovers come off the sticks of the BU defenseman through the middle of the ice as icing is called here. And they being Yale, they're keeping, for the most part, the BU defenseman to the outside. And you know what? Yale shouldn't be intimidated by this team. They played Harvard than 6 times this season. And who's on Harvard? The heck of a hockey player. Yeah. Exactly. Jimmy Vesey. And yes, they did lose to Harvard in the ECAC playoffs in the quarters. 2-1, but they won the season series 4-2. They've seen one of the best in the lands in VC, and so they know, yes, he scored 4 goals against them on the season series, but they feel like, listen, we played against him. We have a lot of respect for him and Eichel. We're not intimidated, though.
Rodriguez thought about moving out. Now play it to some space for Dipley. This puck up ice into the zone. O'Regan with it here. O'Regan gives it to Lane. Lane works through traffic, gets the shot away. Save made, rebound loose. Knocked back behind the net by the stick of Lyon. Back up for McLeod. Over to the captain, Grizzly. Fakes the shot. Now takes one that's kicked to the wall by Lyon. O'Regan trying to come off the boards with it. First real look at sustained pressure the Terriers have had as Rodriguez spins to the middle. Takes a shot here, that one gets blocked down, and it will be cleared out by Doherty. Hitchcock at center, he's knocked off the puck. Lane has it here. Lane giving this over to Grizzly. Up ice the feed, Belargian. Belargian to Eichel. Bit of a line mix-up here late in this first period for the Terriers. Hayden works his way up into the zone. Hickey tangles with him back around behind the net. Up to the point for Wittick. Ruffalo and Fortunato both fall to the ice. Now Hayden. And over here has been Wade, Eichel, and now Belargian gets it up ice. Belargian trying to gather a hold of it here. Comes over to Oxenden, drags it into the zone. The rest of his line mates changing up. As Oxenden gets sandwiched in there between Wilson and Wittick. Holman clears it out to center ice. Terriers look to regroup here just a minute to go in the period. Ruffalo here gathers in what was a flip in from Oxenden, and Ruffalo clears it down. Pass behind Roberto. Fallon sends it ahead. DeChara up into the zone, cleared out by Nick Roberto, the sophomore. Obakowski reverses it off for Fallon. DeChara, that pass to center, intercepted by Olsen. He'll just play it deep and try to get in after it. Obakowski again around the wall for DeChara. Eichel trying to get on him. Puck to center ice. O'Regan battles with Cooper. O'Regan wins the battle with Cooper. Into the zone. O'Regan to Eichel. Eichel back behind the net. Wanted to wrap it around, but ran out of room because Obakowski stuck with him and forced him into the back of the net there. Cooper at center to DeChara. And that'll do it. Quick pace to the end of that first period of play, Billy Jaffe. And get a look at the Opportunity here, the best chance so far.
Yeah, and it just came actually about 2 minutes ago right now as we went the last 2.5 without a break here. Regan's going to put the puck to the middle. Matt Lane has had a nice first period. He had 2 opportunities. He's going to just snap the puck there. It gets by the glove of line, sits on the goal line, and then pops back out in front. A little bit of scramble there, but a good period by Yale overall.
That's the end of the first period. Yale 0, Boston University 0. Let's go to Matt Schick and Dave Starman in the studio.
All right, thank you, guys. 1 period in our race to the Frozen Four Northeast Regional Semifinal. Matt Schick along with the aforementioned Dave Starman. First period, Dave, some sloppiness here we've seen. But if you're Coach Elaine, head coach of Yale, what are you thinking?
I think that he's pretty happy coming out of this period. And here's why. His team is a very much north-south team, not as offensively gifted as they've had in recent years, but they've made a tremendous commitment to playing well defensively. And I thought in that period you saw a lot of that 5-on-5. They came at BU. They were much more composed. They managed the puck much better. I thought with about 3.5 minutes left, they had a good offensive opportunity. They probably should have shot instead of making a pass. But overall, I really liked the way that they held it together, played north-south, kept it composed, and went right at BU.
And taking on a great scoring team in BU. Off the scoreboard here in this first period, Jack Eichel has had some opportunities, but he has shown some flashes of why he may be the best player in the country.
You know, the one thing I like about Jack Eichel so much, and it never gets talked about, is how good he is away from the puck. And we got a chance to see a lot of this in a World Junior Tournament, too. Here's an opportunity with the puck where he uses his great speed. I thought Billy Jaffe brought up a great point about how he glides fast, moves his feet fast, and gets around players so well. But when you take a look at that period, one thing that he did 3 or 4 times was track back, get to his own paint, protect the middle of the net, and also backtrack to pick pucks off, pickpocket guys, and break up rushes as that first forward that's coming back. And that is why he is so attractive to NHL scouts. We all know he's going to play well offensively, but when you're an 18-year-old kid who can play that well defensively, you got something going on.
For those just watching for the first time, he is a freshman, Hobie Baker finalist. How NHL ready is he as a freshman?
You know, that's a very good question. And when you take a look at the way he plays, he's got an NHL body, he's got NHL hockey sense, and he's got NHL feet. The question I think a lot of people have on Jack Eichel is whether or not he could step into the NHL next year and be an impact player at that level, at the big-time level. I take a look at that World Junior Tournament where I thought that he was okay, but he wasn't great. Could he dominate his age group last year? He didn't. The question is, can he dominate against the big boys at the NHL level? But here's the thing. He's going to be a long-time NHL player. He's a once-in-a-generational kind of player, much like Connor McDavid is. Whether or not he's ready next year, not so sure.
Nation's leading scorer, 66 points in 36 games. Game 37 so far. No points for Eichel or anybody else. Yale and BU scoreless here after the first period. Again, our second semifinal from Manchester coming up 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPNU. It is Minnesota-Duluth, and Minnesota, a rivalry that should be a fun one to watch, Dave.
All you have to do is say Minnesota-Duluth, Minnesota, and just drop the puck and let them go. Alex Iafallo is back for Minnesota-Duluth. That helps them get their lines a little bit more stabilized. They've got 2 terrific centers, and Dom Toninato and Tony Cameronisi, and Kaz Kasuo in goal has been really good for Duluth. That's a great game to watch.
Minnesota-Duluth making their 9th NCAA tournament appearance, 4th in the last 7 seasons after missing last year. They have 227 all-time meetings with Minnesota, most in program history, former WCHA rival.
And every one of them's had some ice bags that have been attached to it. These are 2 teams with a lot of skill. That's the beauty of this matchup, a lot of speed. This might be the first time in a long time Duluth is actually a little faster than Minnesota, but the Gophers have got it cranked up.
All right, Minnesota, again, Minnesota and Minnesota-Duluth coming up. That's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Back out to the ice, Tommy Fallon standing by.
With Tommy Fallon, the senior captain of this Yale Bulldog team. Tommy, give me your thoughts on that first period of play.
It's 2 quick teams going at it. It's a fast pace. We just got to keep them to the outside.
Now, what are your thoughts here so far on the season of what has happened over the last couple weeks, just having to wait and see where you guys would end up here for the NCAA tournament?
A bit of a roller coaster of emotions, I'd have to say, but a good thing that we made it, and hopefully we can give it our best shot tonight.
Any keys to getting some offensive success against this Boston University team?
Yeah, we got to attack their D-core. They're a young team, so hopefully they can, our entire team can jump on them early and get some chances on the inside.
Tommy, thanks very much for being with us. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, Tommy, for the time, captain of this Yale team. When we return, we'll look ahead to our upcoming semifinal coming up here on ESPNU. Scoreless in Manchester, but we have had some opportunities. Matt Lane, a little toe drag. Couldn't get that one to go. Lyon has been stout in goal. Yale and BU scoreless here in the first intermission. Now, the winner of that game will take on the winner of our next semifinal. It's Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on ESPNU. Again, Duluth making their 9th NCAA tournament appearance. Long-time rival there with Minnesota, the 3 seed here in this region. Minnesota Duluth 3-1-0 against the Gophers this season. Why have they had success against the Gophers this year?
I think a lot of it has been speed. That has really been the key. And the Gophers kind of had a slow start this year. They put it together as the season went on. I think as this game goes along, the Gophers on that small ice are very, very good at going north-south and grinding low in the offensive zone, trying to play 2-on-2 games down low with a high forward who can crash the net. I think that's going to be a vital part of their game today as they take on Duluth to try to get those chances from the quiet zones into those soft areas by the face-off circles.
All right, that's in the Northeast Regional. Also the West Region getting underway in Fargo. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from the campus of UND in Grand Forks. North Dakota taking on Quinnipiac. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And Dave Haxtell, head coach in North Dakota, 6 Frozen Fours in 10 years as his head coach, but said during the conference tournament there was some slippage there, not paying attention to the details as much. How do they tune that up here today?
I think the thing that factors in this game the most is that the best goaltender in the country plays for North Dakota. Quinnipiac is missing its star player in Sam Addis. We're not sure he's going to play, but we don't think he is. North Dakota lost one of their key guys, a senior, in Mark McMillan. But North Dakota is still 4 lines deep, 3 sets of Ds deep. They've got guys sitting out that would play for most other teams. And Zane McIntyre has been awesome this year.
And St. Cloud State getting healthy as well, we learned moments ago.
Oh, Kaylee Kostel is coming back in the lineup. Andrew Prochnow is coming back in the lineup. So they've got that awesome defense pair with Prochnow and Prow who play together. That's going to be fun to watch.
All right. It's been fun to watch so far. BU and Yale. A stalemate, scoreless here in the first intermission. Lyon roaring in the net. Yeah, we went there. We are at the first intermission. The Boston University taking on Yale again. Coming up, we've only just begun the fight. Other half of this national semifinal, Minnesota, Duluth, and Minnesota. St. Cloud State, Michigan Tech out west as well. Matt Chick, Dave Starman. So BU, highest scoring team in the country, taking on the best scoring defense in the country. How does BU turn this around here?
They got to manage the puck better. That's really the key. I think they need to stop being as cute as they are, continue to go up ice, move the puck to the net, get chances. I thought they got a couple of good chances. It's got to be more consistent, but they've got to manage the puck.
Again, BU averages nearly 4 goals per game here, led by Jack Eichel, favorite to take down the Hobie Baker. Again, destination Boston. Right now, BU throwing their weight everywhere except the scoreboard. Second period now.
Welcome back to the NCAA Hockey Championships, presented by Northwestern Mutual. Dan Parkhurst and Billy Jaffe here in Manchester, where Yale and Boston University are scoreless at the end of one period of play. And Billy, the Yale Bulldogs doing a pretty good job creating some turnovers and forcing Boston University back on their heels.
Yeah, no question about it. And it's the young defensemen from BU that have turned the puck over often in this period. And Yale, again, not afraid to attack aggressively, in their defensive zone or in the offensive zone. They don't get a chance there off the stick of Doherty. But what they are doing is sealing the wall well, allowing their forwards to get after it. Ruffalo's got to hit the net there, though. Yale with only 6 shots on goal in that period, but they created numerous turnovers that they didn't get shots on net from. They've got to capitalize on those turnovers.
See there the stats from the first period of play. Both teams have a couple of abbreviated power play chances. But BU out shooting Yale 11-6. The Bulldogs, though, blocking 5 other opportunities for the Terriers in that first period.
Yeah, again, willingness to block shots, get in the lane, play that interior, protect the house defense, key to the Yale Bulldogs. I look now for both teams coming out in the second period to be settled down a bit. Again, BU, to me, looked more nervous than Yale did. You could see the experience of Yale come through right there.
See there, Jack Eichel, one of 2 Hobey Baker finalists we have in the Northeast Regional here this year. Later on, we'll see Mike Riley from the Minnesota Golden Gophers, his team taking on the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs in the second regional semifinal here in Manchester.
What a year he's had, too.
Oh, great year. Top scoring defenseman in college hockey. And, you know, for all the talk that Riley gets about so many points he gets on the power play, he's also the team plus-minus leader. So he's getting it done at both ends of the ice. We'll see more from him later on. Eichel giving this back over. On the far side, Macau plays it ahead. Evan Rodriguez, senior, up into the zone, plays this one through the middle. Cooper will pick it up on a deflection along the back wall.
I know that play there by Rodriguez. I think the BU coaching staff wants him to move it instead of laterally. Move it, keep moving it north. Don't try the lower percentage play.
Rodriguez gives this to Holman. Holman trying to find some room, sends it down towards Hickey. Couldn't gather in the bouncing puck there and direct it on net. Mitch Whittick. Right ahead, Oxman, an intercept. This just gets out to the far side. Trent Ruffalo.
Another lateral pass just inside the blue line. I'm looking over at the BU bench and the coaching staff that looks at each other. Keep the puck moving down. Don't allow for turnovers, a possibility to happen at the blue line.
Here's Fortunato trying to chase that one down, but a little sweet play there from Tommy Fallon knocked it away. Fortunato here. Fortunato collapses down, gives it over to Summerby. His shot in, save Lyon. It pops up in the air, and he grabs it with a glove. Early action here in the second.
Good forecheck by A.J. Greer, who's really getting a good opportunity the last 2 weekends. The youngest guy on this BU, already very young squad, getting a chance to bump up to the top 2 lines as he has been playing with Case and Holman. And he got on the forecheck on that play there and made things happen with a good aggressive forecheck.
You saw it last week out of Greer. He's got the ability to create some offense. As you noted, a young guy, but let's not forget this is a guy who scored 92 points in his 2 seasons at Kimball Union.
And he could have stayed, by the way, one more year in juniors or in prep, wherever he wanted to go to. And he dominated last year, would have been off the charts domination this year, but he wanted to come to BU and be a part of this class. Offside
call here coming down against the Yale Bulldogs. Going to look there to Adam Larkin, the freshman defenseman out of Clarkston, Michigan.
You know, what you're seeing out of the Bulldog defense, whether it's Fallon or Larkin or any of them, O'Gara, they can all skate. They keep the lane. Well, he doesn't hold them back. He doesn't put the reins on them. He just wants them to read the play well. You can tell that they're very well educated, very well coached to their strengths. You know, get up and go when you got the opportunity. But let's not look all the time to get 4 guys in the rush. Other teams regularly look to get 4 guys in the rush.
Diffley. Put that over to Summerby. Up now to Olsen. Pushed away there by Obakowski. Lane goes back into his zone to get after it. 2 minutes into the second. No score here. Team hoping to advance to tomorrow's regional championship. Here's Rossetti picking one off and sending it in on net. That is stopped by O'Connor. He holds on for another face-off here inside the BU zone, but another chance on a
bit of a turnover.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It was right down below us if it caught the linesman or not. Regardless, you know, Summerby coming up and the puck is going to end up sitting there. Rossetti's going to get it. This is right here. It hits the linesman's skate. Part of the play just happens right there. You don't want it to happen when you're an official, but it does. The quick shot, good save though by O'Connor.
Roberto was able just to clear it out in the center ice. Fallon sends it ahead. The captain of the Yale Bulldogs here will throw this one up through into the BU end, where the captain of the Terriers, Grizzly, played it over to McLeod. This up ice feed is going to get all the way down for an icing call. So we just saw the 2 captains of the 2 teams. Tommy Fallon, the only captain of this Yale Bulldog team, because, Billy, it is a tradition. Yale has just 1 captain.
Yeah, I'm sure Bulldog Nation, I'm sure that the fans of the Yale, I know that only 1 captain is allowed. You don't see other A's out there. You just see 1 guy. And that's interesting. I didn't know that. We learned that yesterday from Coach Elaine there. And, you know, you sometimes have great leadership groups and you want to get them letters on their sweater too. And you can't do that as the net comes crashing off its post there behind O'Connor. But because it's a tradition, and by the way, it's a team vote. There's no coach input whatsoever. He has no say in it. It's a team vote right there. He goes with what the team says. That's the trust that they have. And this kid's been a really good leader for them. Tommy Fallon said in the open, we talked about his skating ability, but also his ability to bring everybody together. Very cohesive unit. Guys get together at the houses an awful lot. They sit together, they chat, they hang out, they eat together. That's what leadership is about, making everybody feel a part of it.
Fallon playing in his opportunity. Fallon playing in his 138th game for the Yale Bulldogs. That is second all-time among all Bulldog players. Another shot through here. That one got blocked down by McLeod. Back up at the point. Played by Whittick. Over to O'Gara. Ends up free for Grizzlick back behind the net. Roberto able to chip it out.
And speaking of Fallon, he had the group over everybody at the house, right? And they're all together for the show to watch where they were going to play. And it was, O'Gara told us the other day, he sat in his lucky seat to make sure he felt they got a good regional. They're thrilled to be here.
Hockey players are not superstitious.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, they don't believe anything.
No. And neither are hockey announcers.
Eichel with it here. They're going to back up to Hickey. A shot in, but that's seen all the way and pushed to the wall. Nice clean stop there by Lyon to direct it right where he wanted.
Because the box out, they're happening in front by Yale.
Fortunato. Looked ahead to Rodriguez. Immediately tied up as he gains the line there by Obakowski, and right back the other way come the Bulldogs.
That's the same type of play as the cross-ice pass that Rodriguez tried to make earlier. You know, get pucks out, get pucks in. You hear coaches talk about that all the time. It's hockey cliche, it's hockey vernacular, because it's true. One of those turnovers could end up coming back to haunt BU at the offensive blue line because they got so many guys going north.
There's an opportunity trying to sneak right up the middle into the zone. Biaka. Different. Gains position back behind the net. Cleared by Oxenden. Greer gathers. Greer works his way back. Tried to go against the grain, but put it wide. Oxenden. Played down. Whittick will send it around, and out to center ice comes Anthony Day. Senior forward will bank it in off the board. Summerby sends it around on the near side for BU. Pinching down there, O'Gara trying to keep play alive. Day. By Summerby. Now to Char. Char works it back up to the point, but Rapinski couldn't get it cleanly out of his skates, and here comes Oxenden. Oxenden going after in the corner. Holman a little slow over the bench from his own end. Hayden will dump one in. O'Connor plays it. Now Olsen. Lane trying to find some room, but finding none through center ice.
And another offensive blue line inability by BU to get the puck in. 3 already in this period.
Learning, who comes from nearby Amherst, New Hampshire, tries to work to the front of the net. About 20 miles away or so to the hometown of Cody Learning. Belargian giving this back to Grizzly. Angles one out to center ice. Olsen. They're going to send it in wide of line in the Yale net. Just about the 6-minute mark of this second period of play as Roberto takes down a man at center ice, and we'll get an interference call here or something of the sort against the BU Terriers. And the Yale Bulldogs will get their third power play chance of the game when we come back. Roberto on his way to the box. Interference the call. You get a look here. Back to Manchester after this.
Welcome back. Hey, Coach Greeley, your team turning the puck over probably too many times for your liking. What do you need to do better from your defensive end of things to get more offense going?
Yeah, Billy, I thought we were a little sloppy in the first period coming up the ice with the puck. Sticking to 5-10-foot passes and using our speed to come up through our end into the neutral zone will probably help us have a little bit more offensive zone possession time.
We appreciate it. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
There you saw Steve Greeley, associate head coach of the BU Terriers. He's also a Boston University graduate, as is the head coach David Quinn, another assistant coach Albie O'Connell, and director of hockey operations Scott Young. So plenty of former Terriers there manning the BU bench as the Yale Bulldogs here get their third power play chance of the game. 0 for 2 so far. Both of those shortened power play opportunities. Yale yet to get a shot on goal on the man advantage in this one. Eichel here for BU. Dumped down by O'Regan. Eichel will be able to chase it down as it got all the way around the wall. Fallon tied up there. Puck gets out into center. Hayden played it up into the zone. Obakowski back for Hayden. Oh, he misfired on it. Gets a second chance, though, and somehow shovels it wide. Hayden to Obakowski. Back for Fallon. Shot in. A stop made there by O'Connor. Rebound up to the far side. Hayden able to get after it. McLeod ties up down in the corner with Ruffalo. Stu Wilson able to kick it up the far side. Ruffalo comes away with it. Back up towards Obakowski, but Holman got a stick on it and he cleared.
Stu Wilson had a really good opportunity trying to finish up in that front net front area there. Puck just bounced past the stick, but good effort by Yale on the power play.
Chara wants to wrap it around. He throws it through the blue paint. Back up at the point, Rob O'Gara. Now Chara takes the feed from Cooper. Chara over to O'Gara. Back up top. Shot there. Doherty stop made. Loose puck in front of the net. Comes out in between the circles. Chara couldn't grab a hold of it.
Good puck movement, though. That starts the whole play. Chara on the right wing side. Sizzles the puck through the box over to the other side. Gets the rotation down a bit and creates some opportunity, some space for Yale to throw the puck in the net.
Bulldogs 3 shots so far on this power play chance. Carson Cooper, junior forward. Bow Island, Alberta native. Works his way to center. Ran out of room there because Holman got in the way. And Terriers able to clear and kill off the remainder of this power play, but easily the best chance on the man advantage so far for the Bulldogs. Pushed up by Hickey. Just gets to center ice. Fallon played it back across the line. Fortunato has it for the Terriers. Fortunato up for Oxenden and across the line. Tries to drag it back for a shot. That puck went off a leg back towards the front of the cage. This will be lifted up by Hayden, but not out of the zone. Eichel has it here. Eichel's pass back up for Hickey. Quick shot in, goes wide. Looked like it got deflected. Ruffalo. Pass there in the skates of O'Regan.
And again, you got Oxenden up with Eichel and O'Regan right here. So some manipulation of the lines by the coaching staff. So you're trying to change some things up. Trying to get some better results because they haven't gotten the kind of pressure they'd like. Speaking of pressure, let's go back to the power play. Watch as Yale here is going to get good entrance into the zone. Chara, they're going to work the puck back to the middle of the ice. A little bit of a whiff. Watch 6 though coming in. Wilson just can't kick it towards the front, can't swat at it. Here's another opportunity. Good look at it. Pushing the puck towards the net. Again, there's Wilson just missing. And a little bit later, as the puck goes back to the point, the rotation happens. Net presence by Carson Cooper there, but goaltender O'Connor, all 6'5" of them, even on his knees, covers all that net.
Matt O'Connor, one of the healthiest goaltenders you'll probably ever meet.
Yes, he is. He is the unofficial team nutritionist.
Lemon sends it down.
He will never become a broadcaster. Let's put it that way.
He doesn't like wings enough, right?
No.
You have to like wings to be a broadcaster. Olsen tries to send it into the corner. Puck gets around here, back up to the point. Lipinski, a shot, man, getting in that lane to block it. Diffley. Now from the far side, Obakowski shoots one to the middle. That pinballs around. This centering feed gets all the way out. Olsen has lost his stick. Obakowski sends that one in. Here we are, Billy, near midpoint of the game, and still scoreless. You got to figure this favors the Yale Bulldogs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Bulldogs have got to be very comfortable and very confident in the way they play. BU prides itself on being able to change the way they played it to, play different styles and to beat teams in different ways, not just this high-flying offensive club. They got to change their ways for this game. They got to believe that. They can talk about it. They got to believe it, because right now they haven't gotten nearly as much going as they need or like. Close to too many men right there, but Summerby got off just in time.
Grizzly plays it back behind the net. McLeod here. McLeod's pass, that's not a good one. It will get to center ice and force Larkin just to dump it back in. So McLeod, here's a pass again. That one nearly picked off. Phelps able to force it into the zone, but right back the other way comes Yale. Doherty, he'll take a shot. That will be gloved by O'Connor, and he'll hold on here for a face-off. 9:29 to go here in the second. Still no score. Who will break through? We'll find out when we come back. No score here in our first Northeast Regional semifinal between the BU Terriers and the Yale Bulldogs. The NCAA Frozen Four is heading to Boston, Massachusetts. The action begins Thursday, April 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern, live on ESPN2. For more information on the 2015 NCAA Frozen Four, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Dan Parker's Billy Jaffe here in a regional that features 4 teams that have all won a national championship within the last 12 years. Yale 2 years ago, Minnesota Duluth, Jack Connolly, what a great member of that team back in 2011. BU just in the 2009 season, led by Hobie Baker Award winner Matt Gilroy in Minnesota back in 2003. Thomas Vanek, a pretty important part of that program.
And here are the overall totals of NCAA championships of the teams in this region here in Manchester. BU and Minnesota with 5 each. All these programs are storied programs. Obviously, some have had a little more success in the big dance and all, but so impressive, the 4 teams that we get to watch here. They're so well coached, so well structured.
Here's a big stop by O'Connor, and then he grabs a hold of the rebound effort as well, and then gets a little edgy with a little jab to the legs there afterwards. But O'Connor sharp in the BU net.
Winning faceoffs and getting control of the puck in the offensive zone. Puck is going to be won by Lerner. He's going to bring it back to the point. Lerner's going to rotate to the middle of the ice. And as he gets himself into that area, the puck is going to end up working its way back to him right there. Carson Cooper with a really good puck battle, stick battle as well. And I can't emphasize enough, Dan, how well Yale keeps the sticks on the ice. And I know it seems obvious, right? But you see some guys with the stick off the ice. Their stick is always towards the puck down on the ice, and it allows them to win that extra battle right there. They get the puck to the middle, learn it with the shot, and the left pad saved by the goaltender O'Connor.
Martin throws one through, but wide. O'Regan clears it out. Tommy Fallon able to clear it. Eichel has it in his skates. Eichel will work his way in. Backhand away. Lyon just to hold the short side. A little bit of a floating backhand there that he's able to cover up for a faceoff.
And back to Rodriguez being out there with O'Regan and Eichel. And you see the front net presence there. Danny O'Regan, number 10 right there coming into the screen. It's an important player on that line. Really good speed, really good ability to handle the puck. Will get to the front of the net. This line needs to get going. They've had a few games. Again, last Friday in that Hockey East semifinal game, they were not good in the first period at all. I mean, they were, in fact, they were bad. they were lazy. They were all over the place. They got better as the game went on, as the weekend went on, and then he dominated against Lowell in the final.
Grizzly clears this down. Allen nearly spun to the front. O'Regan had this deflect off him and back into the corner, and now he'll try to get after it. Rodriguez tied up. Played up through center ice into the zone. Hayden with a shot here that gets blocked by McLeod. Hayden broken up this time by Eichel. The two former U.S. National Development Team program members there colliding. And both those guys, the captain and the alternate captain just this past year for Team USA at the World Junior Championships. Now on opposite sides of the ice, trying to move on through the NCAA hockey tournament as Doherty plays one out. Diffley sent ahead. Olsen got a stick on it, but Doherty knocks it down and clears it in. Summerby here. Hitchcock in on the forecheck. Trying to get that forecheck going here are the Bulldogs. This puck gets to center, and here's Olsen. I can't remember a clean offensive zone entry for BU in this second period of play.
Well, they had one right there, but I wouldn't call it exactly textbook.
Yeah.
It was just a rim around. That was pretty much it. No question about it. They haven't been able to establish the flow that they want. We talk about pace. We talk about style. And they haven't been able to do that. A lot of credit's got to be given to Yale.
Merlin couldn't work that out. Greer spins on the side of that. Holman sevens one here. Oxenden is tied up just enough by Obakowski. Day hit hard into the wall by Greer. There's going to be a penalty call coming down out of that check at center ice as Holman grabs a hold of this one. 6:59 remaining here in the second. Get a good look here at this opportunity for BU, but Obakowski just enough of the stick.
Yeah, keep an eye on 14. You're going to end up seeing Obakowski coming to the front of the net. Right there. There's his 14 on Oxenden. Two big guys. There's a little bit of the hold, the hook, whatever they ended up calling it. It's a penalty.
Yale's fourth power play chance of the game. Oxenden serving the penalty here. Elbowing the call. Yale had a pretty good power play chance there last time out. They're 0 for 3 so far in the game. Rapinski walks it down, collapses, takes the shot. O'Connor sees it all the way and gets the face-off again here inside the BU zone.
You know, Yale, it's funny. For as hard as Yale and aggressive as they are, the mindset they're down, they don't always screen the netminder as well as they perhaps should or could. And this is too big of a netminder in O'Connor. If you don't get bodies in front of him right there, it's going to be very difficult to beat him with a screen. They need somebody in there. They got some big body forward.
Rapinski, another face-off win here. Puck possession. So the power play gets immediate opportunity in the offensive end. Here's a shot to score! Rapinski with the shot! Changed direction on its way through. I think Dechara got a piece of it. And a power play goal has the Bulldogs on top 1-0.
And there was a man in front of the net. It's going to be Frankie Dechara. I'm not sure if he touched it, but he's going to get himself going. Dechara's going to end up, go ahead and roll it, guys. I'll show you that number 17 is going to come into this area. He's going to work his way to the front. He's going to wait, and he's going to work his way up into this area. Right there, upper corner. Whether he touches it or not, he gets into the eyes, into the line of sight of the goaltender O'Connor right there. Huge face-up win, and now Yale, who was pretty much even in face-ups in the first period. We've seen them win the last few offensive zone draws, and they get an enormous goal to start the scoring in this game.
Largion able to clear one in here. So the Bulldogs break through on their fourth power play chance of the game as Fallon gloves it down and gains the line. Hickey laid back around behind the net. Lifted by Balargian up and out. Bravo Garrett goes back. Swept around for Hayden. Hickey. His pass up into the zone. Holman pulls it back, gets the shot away. Alex Lyon grabs it down with the glove and holds on.
Let's take another look at the goal here, Dan. I don't think it's going to end up hitting Dechara, but in fact, O'Regan, number 10, BU, this good low look shows it. It goes off his stick. See how it floats right there? And there comes the Chara. Again, you don't have to completely take away the eyes. You just got to bother the netminder just enough, and you add in that first deflection to it right there. Makes it a very difficult save for O'Connor to pick up.
So Rapinski gets the goal, his 3rd of the year. Good angle there. You could tell it changed direction. It's based on the way O'Connor, reacted. Leonard sends this ahead. See how the momentum will apply here for the Bulldogs if they can keep it going as Rodriguez intercepts this pass and works up ice. O'Regan taking a shot here. Oh, there was some traffic applied there, and Lyon stuck with it to make the blocker stop.
Looks like he was leaning almost to his left, his glove side, and he got the blocker back down to his right.
Big drive here, Diffley blocked. Diffley gets it back. Sent down O'Regan as that hop over his stick. Summerby pinches down. Rodriguez behind the net. Given to Eichel. Eichel goes back behind. Centers one here. That one hopped off some legs to the near wing side. Down into the corner. This puck picked up. Lifted up to the line. Grzelcyk could not contain. Grzelcyk winds his way up. Back Grzelcyk all the way in. Back behind the net. Oh, backhanded shovel to the front, went off the pad of Lyon before being steered clear by the Yale defense. McLeod a shot here. That was going to go wide, but Lyon wants to calm it down and get a face-off. 4:38 to go in the second. The Bulldogs on a Rapinski goal, a 1-0 lead in the Northeast region.
Matt Schick and this guy, Dave Starman, coming up in just a few moments in our second intermission report. Rapinski with a huge E for Yale, up 1-0.
That was. Found a lane, got a shot through. That was his 4th shot on goal in the game. He's got 2 more than Eichel does today.
Yeah, game high, 4th shot.
That's right.
of the game so far. Second intermission report coming up just a little bit. Dan, Billy, back to you guys.
Coverage of the NCAA Hockey Championship continues Saturday on ESPN2 with a doubleheader. First at 3, Boston College takes on Denver in the East Regional Semifinal. Then at 5:30, it's the Northeast Regional Final from right here in Manchester. All games also live on Watch ESPN. Yale a 1-0 lead over Boston University. You see the goal scorer, the shot finding its way all the way through, Nate Rapinski, the freshman defenseman.
From Duluth, Minnesota.
Yes.
It's 6 degrees of hockey separation. The next game we got Duluth coming up into. We got it all covered for you.
Grzelcyk takes a shot there. Line, it ends up far side. Now push to the front once again. Trying to bang it home there on the short side is Oxenden, but Lyon gets it covered up.
And then there's Greer. Here's big A.J. Greer. Here's young A.J. Greer, but 6'3", 205 pounds, and growing literally by the day, by the second, as he's a man-child right now, and he is getting himself and his big body to the front of the net. The puck is shot from Grzelcyk, who is really getting engaged the last few minutes into the play, and then thrown to the front of the net. Oxenden and Greer down there. I like the way that Greer has taken the opportunity. He's a real happy-go-lucky kid. One of the team jokesters, in fact, the guys were telling us yesterday. But last Friday, when the opportunity to play with the top line or the second line, he was ready 8 minutes before the game. He was serious, had the game face on. No more joking, because he knew that was a big chance for him, and he is relished in it.
That was Greer playing that one through. Gets off of the skate of Homan and into the zone. This puck comes ahead. Hitchcock Try to chase it out to center ice. Hickey pushes it back in. Over to some space. Grizzly trying to hop on it now. That gets knocked past him, and here's Doherty back the other way. Doherty's a back pass there for Hitchcock, and a glove stop by O'Connor.
Working the puck well from side to side. After, again, they get it at their own blue line. Hitchcock, Doherty teaming up for a real nice passing play. Puck comes down the wall. He opens up to the forehand. The quick shot, but there's that center drive. Is Murley, and again, getting to the middle of the ice. They've done it better, helped lead to the first goal of the game, too. Classic 3-on-2 rusher. BU with good back pressure, but because of the passing, they get a good opportunity.
Fortunato trying to work away from Ruffalo, who stays right with him. Fortunato played it instead to Hickey, and now Olsen redirects it in. Lane sends one wide. Fortunato knocks it down towards the corner. Balargian.
This line, to me, and for BU can make a difference because they can play that crash game. And they did it well in the first period. If they can pick it up, perhaps help energize or re-energize BU, it could go a long way, this line, the lane line.
Hickey cleared that in. Fallon plays this to Larkin. Now O'Connor will stop it back behind the net for Fortunato. Played now to Hickey. Ahead, Olsen redirects this down. Icing will be waved off. There's Mitch Whittick. The junior defenseman goes back and plays it up the boards. Cooper gets tied up on the wall. Learned. Given away to Diffley at the BU line. Diffley will try to work it ahead. Diffley, the freshman defenseman, trying to center that one. It gets knocked down. O'Regan finds it. He'll try to cut his way to the middle, and he'll draw a penalty call here. Late in the second period, that'll put the potent BU power play back out onto the ice. BU's power play number 2 in the nation, and a chance here late in the second, Billy.
Yep. Yale talks about defending with your feet, not with your sticks. And Coney Learned, he defends with his stick right there. That's no question about it. As he he chops down Brian Diffley, the freshman from Burlington, Mass. And as he tries to jump to the inside, Learned doesn't move to the inside. He sticks to the inside. That's what puts Keith Elaine's team shorthanded.
BU 0 for 2 so far in the game on the power play. BU's power play on the season better than 26%, but since the turn of the new year at about 33%. Grizzly shot through, didn't get all the way through. This puck cleared. Oh, nice contained there by Grizzly. Given to O'Regan. Grizzly on it again. Rodriguez gives it back to Grizzly. To Eichel. Jack Eichel off here to O'Regan to the middle, and Eichel couldn't get the shot away. Rodriguez trying to cycle it down. Oh, the stick lifted there. It keeps play alive. O'Regan over to Eichel. Back to the middle. Grizzly a shot and a stop made. The pad saved by Lyon.
After a really smart play, a nifty pick of the stick by Oxenden helps keep that forecheck alive, the power play alive in the offensive zone. The big shot from the left point, and even bigger right pad save. There's that middle of the crease positioning by Lyon coming through that gives him an extra half a second to read the play.
Rodriguez tried to play it down. Obakowski takes it away on the boards and sends it down ice. Fortunato here. Still 50 seconds left on the power play. Holman with wheels through neutral. Holman lost those wheels as he got into the zone, and that allows the clear to be made as Carson Cooper sends it. Hickey. Half a minute to go on the power play. Terriers try to gain the line. Hickey played to Balargian. Pass there in the skates of Lane. Back for Balargian. Now Holman trying to push it back up to the point. He gets knocked into the boards. Fortunato works it to the middle here. Now Balargian down for Holman. His stick is broken, so he had to drop it. But cleared around the boards here. Fortunato back up at the point. Played to Balargian. A shot that gets up off the glass, maybe up off the netting. It did. That will stop play with 3 seconds left on the power play.
The best chance on the power play, hands down, is going to start from right here. Oxenden is going to be coming behind the play. The puck is put back behind the net there, right there. Nice little pick of the stick on the defenseman, O'Gara. And then here comes O'Regan, sauce back, and then here comes the opportunities. The puck's going to go back to the point. I want you to check out the goaltender. Boom, right there. See how he's almost just, he's not way out of his crease. He's almost in the crease, middle there. Excellent set. Feet are set, Right pad comes down, makes it look very smooth. Rebound goes to the side.
Wisler tries to send one through some traffic. That went off a leg, and that'll do it on the power play. Puck kept in here, though, for the Terriers. Rodriguez. Sent down towards Eichel. O'Gara sticking with him. O'Regan comes off with it. Playing O'Regan here. Puck down into the corner. Rodriguez. Puck gets to the middle. O'Regan. Oh, a bit of a mess up here, and then this puck played to the middle by Eichel, but past Rodriguez. Rob O'Gara. Will clear it out, and that will do it here in the second period. Oh, Billy, Yale Bulldogs getting just what they needed. Great defensive play and chipping through with one on the power play.
Yeah, and again, playing a game that they're very, very comfortable with. Well, we have a little bump into line at the end of the period right there. He's talking to the official, not happy with that at all. But Yale's got to be happy otherwise. I mean, obviously, still a very, very tight game, but they're dictating pace.
Well, the punishing road to the Frozen Four starts in the regionals, and every team has a shot at making history. At 5:30, Minnesota takes the ice against Minnesota Duluth. Then it's Quinnipiac versus North Dakota. The NCAA Hockey Championship regional semifinals continue tonight at 5:30 on ESPNU and Watch ESPN. Yale Bulldogs take a 1-0 lead here after 2 periods of play. Yale 17-1-1 when leading after 2 periods of play, but Billy, the best period of the year for BU so far has been the 3rd period as well.
It has. Maybe they'll get the nerves out by that time. I still think they've been a bit sloppy with how they played in this game.
Evan Rodriguez, the senior out of Etobicoke, Ontario, joins us from the Boston University Terriers down at ice level. Evan, what are the keys here as you guys get going in the 3rd period?
We got to continue to get pucks deep here, not try to make too many fancy plays. They like to clog up the middle, step up via the blue line, so we just got to get it deep and get our cycle game going.
Evan, your team at times has had a tough starts to game, being the youngest team out there in the NCAA. Did you feel that your team was nervous earlier in this game?
I don't think so. I think we've played a good 2 periods. We know we can be better, but we just got to stick to our game plan and get pucks deep, not try to be fancy. We got to keep things simple, and the game will start to come fast.
Evan, in that power play opportunity for the Terriers, some of the better sustained pressure, what are you guys going to look for here in the 3rd period? Hopefully you can get some other power play chances.
Yeah, we just got to get pucks in net and get some traffic in front of the goalie. He's seeing a lot of pucks, so we got to get a couple guys in front and just start peppering them.
All right, Evan, thanks very much for being with us. Good luck to you here in the 3rd.
Thank you.
So that's the end of the 2nd period. The score, Yale 1, Boston University 0. We'll go back to Matt Schick and Dave Starman in the studio.
Thank you, guys. In a battle of offense versus defense, best on best, it is defense winning the day. Matt Schick along with Dave Starman. First time since February 14th that BU has been scoreless through 2 periods. Ironically enough, that was at New Hampshire. They're in New Hampshire, same issues. Why?
I think Yale's forecheck has been outstanding. When you take a look at what Yale has done this period, their F1 is getting in well. Their first man in on the forecheck. Their second man in is coming in with good support. BU has not really been able to get out of their zone clean. Take a look at the passes that BU is making. They're of the longer variety. When you can't hit your puck support guy very well, that means he's either covered or the lane is taken away. I think Yale has really committed. And this didn't happen overnight, Checker. This was an all-season-long thing. They have committed to defense. They've been able to bottle teams up. They're doing to BU right now what St. Cloud did to North Dakota last Friday in the NCHC Championship, and that is take the middle lanes away, not allow the skill guys to get open.
And one of those skill guys, Jack Eichel, 2 shots here in this game. What does he do to get going?
A couple things. One is going to have to start hitting some soft spots, and they're going to have to start finding them near the face-off dots or just underneath the coverage. Jack likes to skate into traffic, and he plays very well in traffic, but he's got that long stick. And when you take a look at when he's got the puck, his body might be open, but his stick is not. He's got to find a way to get his stick into lanes near the net where he can get a pass and get a shot to the front of the net. But again, Yale, I think, is doing a really good job of making sure he doesn't have a whole lot of room to play with.
And a lot of that, such a defensive team, helps with puck possession. Winning faceoffs as well are the Bulldogs.
Oh, there's no question. I thought early on in the period they won a face-off and was able to get a chance out of it and get a quick shot on net. It's one thing that Yale does pretty well. They're highly organized with their chances. And then here, they get a power play opportunity, quick draw back, take a look to the front of the net, laning open, and good play at the blue line, and then just fire it through, get a shot towards the front of the net. Shots on goal in the power play, never a bad thing. The shot mentality has been there, and I think Yale, face-off-wise, has been able to dominate some possession.
Yale, that face-off total, they won it 11-9 there in that second period. Again, highest-scoring team in all the land, 3.89 goals per game, stymied by Yale so far. And again, how rare is it? Well, since the current 16-team playoff format introduced in 03, more than 47% of one seeds have gone on to reach the Frozen Four, but 1 versus 4 it's been closer recently since 07. One seeds 19 and 13. So this would not be rare, but it would be a shock.
It would be. Listen, there's not a lot of difference between 1 seeds and 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Those teams are pretty tight. It's not like basketball with a 1 and a 16.
Northeast Regional again, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Same site, Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota coming up. Could we be on the verge of an upset in Game 1? Hang with us. Third period coming up. Yale got on the board. Rapinski. Golski. Pablo Garrett, nice screen in front. 1-0 Yale there here in the second intermission in New Hampshire. Winner of this game will advance to the regional final in New Hampshire to take on the 2-3 matchup winner. Minnesota Duluth taking on Minnesota. Duluth, their 9th NCAA tournament appearance. You got the champions from 2011 against the champions from 03. And oh, by the way, these two teams don't like each other a whole lot. Dave Starman.
They can't stand each other whatsoever, and this is going to be a great matchup. And I think for Duluth, one of the big things for them is that Alex Iafolo is back in the lineup. So that gives them a solid left winger on that big line with Dom Toninato and Adam Krause. And I also think the strength of Minnesota Duluth, one thing that they have got going for them is they are really strong down the middle, both from an offensive sense, distributing the puck, moving the puck, getting to the net, getting goal scoring, and from a defensive perspective. They layer well, they get back to the paint, and they backtrack well. Duluth has speed. Minnesota's got a surprisingly good grinding game down low in small rings. I love the way this game matches up. Plus, you got the hatred factor. I mean, that just makes it more fun.
Hockey, hatred, right. Great combo. 3-1-0 this season is Duluth, the Bulldogs, against their in-state rival Minnesota this season. Speaking of the Bulldogs, Yale getting it done so far. I ain't lying, Dave. They're getting good goaltending.
He's a big-time stud in there, and he covers up a lot of mistakes in front of him.
22 saves for Alex Lyon, the sophomore. Yale up 1-0. Alex Lyon leads the nation in shutouts with 7. Is he on the verge of his 8th of the year? If he gets it, Yale heading to the regional final. They're up on BU right now in the second intermission. West Region also getting underway. Number 2 overall seed North Dakota taking on Quinnipiac, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU Day.
You know, Quinnipiac's a good team, but they lost Sam Addis, their leading scorer. Wait to see if he plays tonight, but it is doubtful. They're a pretty scrappy team that doesn't have the depth that they used to. North Dakota, you want to talk about depth? You can go 4 lines deep on North Dakota. When you've got a guy who's a first-round pick centering your 3rd line, you're living right, and that's what North Dakota has.
Again, Northeast Region underway today along with the West. Next game coming up on ESPN 3, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Michigan Tech back in the tournament.
You know, Michigan Tech's a really deep team that got a lunch pail mentality. Mill Pearson's done a wonderful job with this team. The defense get involved in the play. Their goaltending has been great. I think that Michigan Tech is one of those teams, if you don't take them seriously, it could be big-time trouble for you.
First appearance here in the tournament since 1981, span of 34 years. Right now, span of the first 40 minutes, it's been all Yale. How does BU get on the board here and avoid this upset?
You know, I think Rodriguez made a great point between periods, and that is they need to keep throwing pucks at the net and simplifying their game, using pop passes, throwing pass off the pads, jamming the net with two players, layering their attack and getting in. The bottom line, it starts with short passes up ice.
Over the last 3 seasons, BU has won just 7 of 47 games when trailing after 2 periods, but 5 of those 7 wins have come this season. Can they make it 6? It's coming up. BU, number 1 seed, number 3 overall, on the ropes. Third period next.
Welcome back to the NCAA Hockey Championships, presented by Northwestern Mutual. Inside the Northeast Regional Verizon Wireless Arena, game number 1. The Yale Bulldogs, a second period goal and a 1-0 lead over the Boston University Terriers with former Michigan Wolverine Billy Jaffe. I'm Dan Parkhurst. Billy, that second period, Yale dictates the pace of play.
Yeah, and they're doing what they want to do. They've been very disciplined. They've been dedicated to their system, to their structure. They have forced some turnovers, not just in the first period, but also at the blue line in the second period by BU. BU needs to step it up. They absolutely need to step it up, in particular that top line.
And getting great goaltending from Alex Lyon as well.
When needed, yeah. It hasn't been the story of the game, but when he's been called upon, Alex Lyon has been, well, I guess you say taming the tiger of the BU Terriers. I mean, he's been great back there. He's been really focused, dedicated to where he wants to be in the crease. He's shown some good athleticism at a few times. You know, BU putting on 11 shots in that period, and the other end of the ice, 13 shots that period faced by Big Matt O'Connor, who is solid too. You know, you look at net minding, has it been the reason that it's tied? I don't know, but they've been really, really good. They've been stout. It ends up being the one goal when finally Yale on the power play gets a little traffic in front. It's tipped by a BU Terrier, by O'Regan actually, and the puck flutters by him right there. But otherwise, both goaltenders very solid in this game.
So you see there, the game summary is where we'll be set up for third period action. Nate Rapinski, the power play goal. The Terriers, a late power play chance in the second period themselves, but unable to break through, and we begin the third. This one gets deflected up and out of play. Boston University loves the third period, Billy Jaffe, having outscored its opponents 65-24 in the third frame.
It's like they just say, all right, now it's time to start playing. You know, let's get going. Let's start doing what we want to do here, and perhaps they wear teams down a little bit. You know what, though? Yale's been pretty darn good in the third period, too. A little different numbers, but they're a +9 in the third period. They've only given up 13 goals this year in the third. That's amazing.
Only lost once when leading after 2 periods of play this season at the Yale Bulldogs. 17-1-1. Fortunato, right ahead, Rodriguez. Kachara. This gets deep in the BU end. Landon Fortunato. Worked ahead by Greer. Fallon sends it around the boards. Now Hayden. He's hit it center. Able to send it into the BU zone. Landon Hickey. Cleared down. This is going to go all the way down. And there's the icing whistle against the BU Terriers.
You know, Yale didn't know if they were going to get in until the last weekend of the season because of tournament. Things had to go the right way. You had to have BU win, and you had to have Minnesota win. You had to have certain teams end up winning to get in Harvard as well. Keith Lang, where did he find out all this information? He was in his car. He was driving back from Lewiston, Maine, right? Because his 15-year-old son was playing for Team Connecticut in the New England District Selects, and he was just going on with his business. He thought things would work out. He didn't take it for granted, but he said, listen, I'm going to just go on with my life. I'm going to do what I got to do as a hockey dad, too, in the off time. And he found out while driving there. But he said the fact is, we had a Sunday meeting already scheduled, our regular Sunday routine, so business as usual. We're ready for this opportunity, and so far in this game, they have shown that.
Doherty clears this one in. Puck gets banked out. Obakowski lobs it back into the zone. Yale finished third in ECAC hockey this year. Finished as the Ivy League champions. And another icing call here against the Terriers. So a slow pace here to start the...
Which again is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to play fast hockey, but they want to play controlled hockey. And, you know, BU, again, they don't want irresponsible, wide-open play, but they want to have the puck more. They're a puck possession team, if ideally. They haven't been able to nearly hold on to it or possess it as much as they'd like.
Day a shot here, gets redirected up and out of play. The Rapinski goal back in the second period, by the way. Doherty and DeChara with the helpers on that power play goal.
BU now has got to find that inner confidence that they talk about that they have. That ability to play different styles and still be okay with it. The third period, as you mentioned, has been very good, but, you know, when they look to their top line, when they look to the Eichel line and they see them struggling a bit, how does the rest of the team react? Evan Rodriguez thought that they had played pretty well through 2 periods. I didn't love their first period at all. In fact, I didn't think it was great. Their puck decisions was not good at all. A bit better in the second period, the second half of the second period.
O'Regan just ran out of room there as he tried to work to the middle. Eichel trying to staple him into the boards on the far side. Here's Rapinski. Back to Grizzly. Rodriguez Trying to find it. Oh, that bounced off a leg right to the side post there, and Lyon covers up.
Yeah, but again, you notice when they attack the front of the net, you see how well Lyons protected, and he gets the opportunity to scoop up the puck. And good Obakowski defense. Then he gets behind him, but look at the layered support coming over there. Rapensky supports the play, leaves his man from the middle of the ice, comes down low, stick on the ice, and Lyon very casually holds on to the puck.
Well, when we talked to him yesterday, he seemed like a pretty laid-back kid.
Absolutely.
They're very laid back. It's that northern Minnesota coming through. Fortunato, he lost that. DiChiara trying to create a 2-on-1 up ice here. Come the Bulldogs. DiChiara working in, holds, pulls it back, takes the shot, and O'Connor snares it with the glove.
Mark that. Just over 2 minutes in this period, 2.5 minutes in. Look at this play that DiChiara is going to pick it up. Fortunato just ends up overhandling and muffing the puck up right there. Comes the snapshot, and the glove save by the big netminder. DiChiara brings it to the inside, changes the shooting angle, and that was just above the pad still, and the glove was in great position there. Excellent save. 17-19 was on the clock right there. That could be a game changer.
Stu Wilson trying to work to the middle. This shot flutters wide as it got deflected off the stick of John Hayden. Oxenden could not clear. Fortunato has to chase it back. Different. Given to Oxenden. Up ice the feed. Homan into the zone. Homan trying to turn the defense. Played well by Fallon. Homan is able to center one. This gets back up to the point. Diffley tries a shot in that's blocked. Goes back to Diffley. Over now to Summerby. Doyle Summerby, an Islanders draft pick, sends that one through. Diffley has to just play it down low. Fallon will gather this one in for the Bulldogs. Fallon a shot here, blocked by Summerby. Picked up by Belargian. Belargian dumped it in, took a heavy hit from Hayden on the wall.
Kind of slumped there afterwards. Well, at first I thought it could have been a shoulder injury the way that he reacted. He seems to have shaken it off quickly. But for that moment, he did not look well.
It did not look like it felt good. Summerby here. Right up to Belargian, just has to sweep it out. Rapensky off the wall. From neutral ice, played in by Ismerlian. Terrier, pass that's off target there, but finds its way through to Eichel, who will have to circle it back. Eichel, that's a bad pass. That's picked off by Obakowski. In for a shot, that's blocked. Now Eichel will try to wind it ahead. Play to O'Regan. O'Regan sends that to space. Design play there for a shot on the far side by Grizzly that is stopped by Lyon. McLeod to the middle. Loose puck there. Oh, Grizzly couldn't drag it back to the backhand. Rodriguez here intercepts one. Rodriguez sends it over to O'Regan. A shot kicked aside by Lyon. A centering pass knocked away here. Learned it. And a 3-on-2. DiChiara into the zone here. Tries a drop pass. Cooper has to go back out. O'Gara given to Whittick ahead and redirected in by Lerner.
Well, some good play there through the neutral zone after a bad turnover by Eichel. He regroups, moves the puck up along the right side. It gets an opportunity for the BU Terriers. They moved it into the zone. Their best chances of this third period.
Rodriguez throws that one in. Lyon makes the save. His Bulldogs a 1-0 lead over the BU Terriers in the third. Yale on top in this one, 1-0. Look there at Jack Eichel, the freshman sensation for the BU Terriers. Well, Billy, you got to credit the BU PR staff, Brian Kelly and those folks. You see the I Like Ike pins from back for Eisenhower, and now you got the I Like Ike pins for fans of the BU Terriers, and one of the Hobie Baker finalists, and good public relations move by the Terriers.
Great public relations with excellent play on that, and there's a good look at Jack Eichel, who had a turnover, but then when the puck came back to him this time, instead of going middle of the ice, he goes wide. O'Regan with the cross-ice pass over, and then the good flow as they put it into the zone. They get an opportunity, but again, Yale keeping things to the outside. There's only been 5 games this year, Dan, that Jack Eichel hasn't recorded a point. 3 of them have come against not even just ECAC schools, but Ivy League schools. And so the reality is the Ivy, and Yale part of it obviously, seem to know they're well educated, so to speak. They know how to defend against them well.
Holman and Cooper here on a faceoff. Cooper's been great in the faceoff circle, although this one won by the Terriers, and this puck deflected up and out of play.
Every face-off so important right now, and not just for BU, but for Yale as well. As BU's down by just a goal, and they shouldn't be panicked. It's more than enough time here to tie this thing up, and as we've documented well, their third periods are their most confident periods and most successful periods offensively.
Belargian ridden off back along the wall. Holman trying to find some space against O'Gara. Plays it to Belargian. A backhand shot. A stop by Lyon. This line pretty good in the second. Pretty good so far here in the third. Belargian out there with Holman and Oxenen. The NCAA Frozen Four is heading to Boston, Massachusetts. The action begins Thursday, April 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern live on ESPN2. For more information on the 2015 NCAA Frozen Four, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships.
Well, now we're seeing more offensive time for Jack Eichel and his line as they come right back out. David Quinn going to use them as much as possible here in the third period. They're going to utilize the 2-minute TV timeouts as well. I expect to see them, maybe not every other shift, but close to it, especially with the team down.
Shot from the point there, blocked by Hayden. Hayden has it now. McLeod goes back, sends one over to Grizzly. Grizzly forced back. On the forecheck there, Ruffalo. Rodriguez from center fakes the shot, and that forced Eichel to step ahead of the play offside.
But there's that interior middle of the ice defense, and this is what Yale had to do when the game started, and they've done a pretty good job of it. They are very well disciplined. Keith Elaine has got them in their lanes, and here, here's the fake shot, and you see how the guys are back in their lanes. You have numbers right there. Ruffalo's going to put his stick out. He's a forward back in that area. Even though you end up seeing guys to the side a little bit, everybody's got their lane, their man covered right there, and Yale working in unison.
Hitchcock trying to get in after it. He and Grizzly collide in the corner. Grizzly, Bruins draft choice, native of Charlestown. Grew up within sight of the TD Garden. His team has already won 2 championships in that building, the Beanpot and the Hockey East Championship. But his Terriers down 1-0 here in the third. Different. Hands this off to McLeod. Terriers being forced to work the full length of the ice regularly as Rodriguez gets into the zone here. Pulls it back, a shot save, rebound out front. Dangerous one there, but it gets knocked aside. Eichel throws it back up to the middle. Diffley a drive in, tip but wide by Roberto. Roberto tries to tie up on the far side with Ruffalo. That keeps the play in the zone. Rodriguez trying to help out as well and gets to center ice. Summerby into the zone there. Works his way down into the corner. Summerby centers. Tip stop by Lyon. Puck loose at the side of the crease, and it draws a whistle as it's under the pad of Lyon there. Doyle Summerby showing a move at center ice to gain the line.
We had a save at the 17-19 mark by O'Connor. We'll mark this one at 12:48 by Lyon. But let's go back a moment before that. We're starting to see the grinded out net front game being shown by BU. As Roberto's going to get to the front of the net, he'll have a nice redirection, a tip that goes wide of the net. As we take the slap shot from the point by Summerby, there's the tip that's going to end up going to the stick side just by Lyon. And then with the flurry to the front of the net and the left shoulder save made by Lyon.
Lane. On the cycle back down to Roberto. Gets through the near side. Here's Merlion up the boards and out to center. Fortunato for BU. Moving over to Hickey. Fortunato again. Lots of winding it up. Instead, we'll drop it back to Hickey. Hickey will be able to gain the line. Lane it down the boards. Lane. Lane tied up. Lane gets it to Hickey. Hickey centers, but it just rolls off his stick. Hickey goes back to get it. Now he shoots one inside of the net. Back to the middle. A shot here that goes wide. Lane tries to jam it to the front. Olsen had that hop his stick once again. Back to Fortunato. Now Olsen. Knocked down in the corner by Hitchcock. Fortunato has pinched down to the hash marks. He's there to keep play alive. Gives it back to Lane. A shot here deflected out of play. Past the 8-minute mark of the third. Yale leading 1-0, but BU finding a way to get some pressure.
Yeah, really some good pressure. Olsen bulling his way down low. Lane as well. Let's go back to that earlier save that we're talking about, though. This is after Summerby, who worked on his skating so diligently over the summer. Gets himself free. Stick handles down low, and then the redirection comes off the left shoulder of Lyon. Good positional save right there. And you know what? He also then finds the puck off the rebound opportunity. That's good presence. Really good presence of mind.
Oxenden tries to throw into the middle. This puck loose. Homan in his skates. Able to get it free. Oxenden shot. Score! Adi Oxenden ties it up. It's a 1-1 game with 11:39 to go here in the third. Oxenden gets his 24th of the year.
BU has elected to grind things out here in the third period. And by putting their mindset to that, it's made such a difference. Puck doesn't get out. Oxenden, number 2, is going to protect the puck right there. Turn the top of the circle, throw it to the front. 2 white sweatered guys are Kason Homan, A.J. Greer. But it's the layered guy, the third guy, Oxenden, who doesn't get too close to the puck. He finds it and waits. Young players sometimes will get too tight to the netminder there, thinking the puck's going to come to him. Instead, he waits for it to come to him, and he puts it into the big empty net. Grinded out hockey, doing it smartly in the third period so far, leads to the tie goal.
All goals in the NCAA tournament are reviewed, and this one's going to be reviewed by the guys on the ice as well. As our referees for today's game out of the NCHC, Todd Anderson and Derek Shepard are going to take a peek at this one.
Now they're going to look to see if there's goaltender interference, if contact was made with Alex Lyon. Kason Homan has the puck. It's the right skate of his own defender there, Dan, that ends up hitting him. I believe that's Carson Cooper that can't get to the puck. And then in front, Greer, and again it's forward, it's O'Gara. I don't see any on that replay right there. I see O'Gara, and before that, Cooper making contact with their own netminder.
I see on that first play, he gets over, that forces him out of the crease. The first contact forces him too far to the right. And then O'Gara on the second contact doesn't allow him to get back into the crease.
Right. Remember, so, you know, as a forward, you're allowed to get towards the area.
Right.
And if you bring a defender with them, then that's just part of it. Now, this low look here, Kason Homan, again, he's kicking for the puck. It's outside the crease there. Clean to me. Here comes Greer outside the crease. O'Gara is going to get his left leg, and then right there. To me, that's a good goal as Oxenden's going to get to it. Do not forget the name A.J. Greer in the draft. He won't go in the first round. Maybe as high as second. You might sneak in there second or third. But A.J. Greer, with his big body, as I told you, 6'3", over 200 pounds, and growing, literally, probably by the hour. Yeah. He gets himself to the front of the net. He makes himself havoc in there. He brings bodies with him.
And last week, going back to last week, he gets moved up to that line. David Quinn, just kind of a gut move.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
And I think you can see from that angle we had, the lower angle, it was definitely O'Gara's skate. The higher angle wasn't quite as clear, but that low angle, you can see it was O'Gara who made that final contact with the netminder.
Absolutely correct. And Oxenden, as you mentioned, 24th goal of the season, had no points during the Hockey East final weekend. And this is a guy that relishes the power play and just offensive opportunities. But he's had a heck of a hockey season. 24 goals, 11 assists, and scores a huge one for BU halfway through this third period.
11 goals coming into the season in 2 previous seasons for the Terriers. Converted to forward this year, and he jumped out of the gate early for the Terriers on the season and proved he could be an offensive force up front. Eichel working his way down low. Eichel back behind the net with it. Eichel back up top, a shot there, and challenging out his line to make the save. Whittick played ahead. Eichel trying to come off the boards with it. That's broken up. Whittick clears. Grizzly goes back to center ice. A 1-1 game now, nearing the midpoint of the third. Eichel flips it to the middle. Lyon knocked it aside.
Looking for a timing play with Belargian coming in wide.
Into the zone, Doherty. He'll throw into the middle. Rodriguez touches this to Belargian. Belargian gives it back. Belargian gets it back on a deflection as Lane tried a shot. Lane trying to work free from Larkin. Lane now back behind the net. Lane back up to the point now. Shot in wide. Karams towards the middle, but doesn't get all the way there.
Again, 2 white sweaters, 2 Terriers in front of the net.
Wilson's backhander shot, but that just rolls to the corner. Belargian will gather. Belargian centers. Now Diffley, he steps into one. That is blocked by Ismerlian and cleared by Hitchcock. Hitchcock working in on Diffley. Wilson gathers, he clears it out. Obakowski. He'll weave his way up into the zone. Nice pass there, and a shot that gets goes wide. Diffley gave it away. Cleared out into center. Obakowski ties up there with the Terrier netminder Oxen.
Obakowski with one of the nice reads right there. You know, there aren't many Yale defenders that will jump into the plate. He's one of them who regularly will.
Homan flips this out. Lipinski sends to center. Zetti able to dump in. Oxenden tied up, can't clear it out. Learned helps keep it in. A centering pass here gets knocked away before it reaches Cooper. Come on, come on. Whittick. Got a stick on it, but that gets deflected up and out of play. Yale came into third with a 1-0 lead, but Adi Oxenden gets the Terriers on the board. It's a 1-1 game.
Sixteen teams, 4 sites, destination Boston. 4 games today, 6 more tomorrow, including the Northeast and West Regional Final. Again, 15 minutes away here, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The West Region gets underway. It's Huskies and Huskies. Oh my, St. Cloud State and Michigan Tech in Fargo. Moments away. Get to your tablet.
1-1 the score here. Matt and Dave, hope back in the studio you guys are enjoying this one as much as Billy Jaffe and I are enjoying this one here. Both goaltenders have played great. Both have just given up the 1 marks, and we're in for a whale in the second half of a third period here.
Yes, we are, and you can feel with the goal, the intensity, the tension, everything picking up right now. This is how NCAA college hockey tournament time should be.
Terriers out shooting the Bulldogs here in the third, 9-1. Regan has it here. Rodriguez takes a shot, score! Rodriguez, a quick snapshot from the far wall. Terriers take a 2-1 lead.
Evan Rodriguez told us during the intermission interview, we've played all right. We need to get more pucks in and on the net. The breakout by BU through the neutral zone. O'Regan's going to wait. Does he go left or right? He chooses to go left. And then the little shot comes from the side. This is more of an area shot, putting it on net, hoping to get some traffic in front. Whittick is blocking there, and you see as well other bodies coming to the front of the net. Not sure if that deflected off anybody or not, or if Lang just couldn't pick it up. Perhaps through the leg of Whittick, maybe he misread it there just a little. But it's a low shot that beats him. Oh my, BU back on, or now on top.
If it does go for Rodriguez, his 19th of the year and the 40th career goal for the senior out of Etobicoke, Ontario. BU's third period dominance on the season continuing, at least so far tonight, but still a long way to go. Obakowski tries to dump in, and an offside call here at the line. Under 8 to play. Get to know Evan Rodriguez here, the senior, one of just 2 seniors on this Boston University team. 2014 Hockey East All-Academic Player. His brother Paul, 2013 Division III Player of the Year from Oswego State. Rodriguez, also a 2-time second-team All-Hockey East selection. He was a second-teamer earlier this year. McLeod working back behind the net. McLeod here wanted to work back, has to just clear it up. Not out, kept in, but goes right back to McLeod, and he's able to get to center ice this time. Hitchcock skewed ahead. It's Merlin. Broken up by the captain of the Terriers, Matt Grizzly. Rodriguez pushes this up off the wall. Eichel couldn't get a stick on it to clear. Grizzly will send it to center ice, and here comes Jack Eichel.
Good positioning by Grizzly, good calming influence.
Eichel just throws this one away. Probably wasn't quite aware that, well, everybody else in the white jerseys had decided to make a line change at that moment.
Well, his line has been guilty the last few games of taking some, let's just call them extra long shifts.
Shot here by Summerby goes wide. Takes men's league shifts. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Alexei Kovalov-style shifts from the old New York Ranger days when Keenan wouldn't let him come off the ice, in fact. Evan Rodriguez hit almost at 2 minutes.
Shot, score! Gets back into the high slot there, and Dichara goes upstairs to tie the game at 2.
Yale seemingly making something out of, well, just not much. Just the play that the puck is pushed into the zone. And the player that Keith Elaine called having phenomenal progress this year, Frankie Dicharia, is going to end up smoking this one upstairs past Matt O'Connor. What a release of a shot right there. Good take of the wall away there by Carson Cooper. Puck to the middle of the ice. There's that wall play that Yale has become so good at this season. This is a team very different from 2013 when they won the national championship. They had a whole different style, a boatload of scores, guys that could scoot around. These are bigger, more powerful forwards that have to play a zone-to-zone, a positional game. They did that just there, and that rocket of a shot ties it at 2.
So Dichara with the goal. You saw there on the replay, the assist coming off the stick of Cody Learned. Plenty of family here for Learned. The Amherst, New Hampshire native helps get his team tied up on the Dichara goal. Punch, counter punch. As Lane knocks this over to the side. We'll talk more about that in our second game tonight. It's one thing Don Lucia talked about. Well, the Bulldogs and the Gophers have had to do that all year long against each other. Here in the third period, we're seeing a bit of that between the Terriers and the Bulldogs. This puck cleared off glass. It's going to get all the way down. And that will be an icing call against the Bulldogs. Coverage of the NCAA Hockey Championship on ESPNU continues Saturday with a triple header. First at 4, RIT takes on Minnesota State Mankato in the Midwest Regional Semifinal. Then at 6:30, Providence battles Miami in the East Regional Semifinal. And at 9 Western, the West Regional Final. All games also live on WatchESPN.com.
great full weekend of hockey coming up. And you're going to see some special games happening as the skill level of college hockey continues to climb off the charts. I mean, you're seeing not just guys like Eichel, but there's so many players around the country, so many stories that are happening right now. And you know there's going to be upsets.
Chara tries a shot here. This gets redirected up and out of play. 2-2 the score here. 5.5 to go in the third.
Really like the way that Frankie DeChara has been involved in this game. And this is a player, as I said, as a sophomore, continues to literally grow into his body. Always a big kid, but you can tell he's worked a lot on his skating and his ability to do things with the puck. So no hesitation. When he got the puck off the wall and got into a shooting position, by not waiting, that didn't allow the goaltender O'Connor to get as set as he totally wanted and just beat him upstairs with that shot.
This puck cleared out, and oh, here comes Eichel. Jack Eichel, those strides, working in, a backhand shot, and Lyon sticks with him to make the save. And he gets wrapped across the midsection by Whittick. He says, nice save, my friend.
Isn't it amazing how the Stars always come through when it matters? Well, you know what? Eichel almost comes through, but it's the star of Yale, Lyon, the netminder, who comes out with the right pad. Eichel's going to look to go backhand and then through 5-hole. He's going to try and put it back to the 5-hole there, but Lyon comes out, keeps the pad just closing up and puts it to the side. What a save by the netminder Lyon, who, again, I'm really impressed with his composure in there. As a goaltender, you're waiting for the move to be made. You don't want to commit first. He didn't do that. Read it the whole way and showed some excellent agility going to his side.
Fortunato works it up ice to Oxen. Oxening's shot saved by Lyon. And another face-off coming here inside the Yale zone.
Well, you can tell why or how come his team respects Lyon so much. You know, growing up in northern Minnesota, there was no Minnesota pro team, no Winnipeg pro team, and by the way, he's very close to being in Manitoba. So when we asked him about his favorite hockey players, growing up his favorite goaltenders, he said, well, Patrick Waugh. I had nobody of a local team, so to speak, to idolize right there. But he's playing beautifully. You can see that he's got a lot of Patrick Waugh in him as well.
First team all ECAC, first team all Ivy. This puck gets cleared down on the center ice. As Merlin throws it over on the far side. Already played it deep. Hitchcock. Knocked away, and Oxen lobs this one up ice. Here's Holman trying to chase it down. Coming out to play it, though. The netminder Lyon had to make the decision. Looked like he hesitated for a second, but made the decision early enough to get out there and break it up. Somerville plays this ahead with Penske. Finds his way to the red line and then dumps one in. Wow, I just gave it away in the corner there. Here's Stu Wilson. Wilson, he gets hammered by McLeod.
That's McLeod's game. Stay at home, little nasty edge type of D-man. Tampa's going to love having him in a couple of years.
This is Wilson. Wilson plays one through the middle. Fallon had pinched down. He's able to send it far side. Lane trying to chip it out. Cannot. Larkin throws one into the middle. That hawks wide of the net. This puck cleared by Belargian. Won't be icing here because it got in on net, and that will force Lyon to cover it up for a face-off.
Some good times here in Manchester in the last couple of minutes. Frankie DeChara letting out the Yale's team, tying it up. Jack Eichel, on the other hand, can't believe he didn't score on the breakaway.
The NCAA Hockey Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together.
You can share your pond or pool hockey setup with us on Twitter using the Frozen4 hashtag. Where we are, late third period action, under 4 to play. Yale got on the board first. BU struck for a couple quick ones in the third, but the Bulldogs have come back to tie it, Billy Jaffe.
Yeah, Nate Rapensky, defenseman for Yale, ends up getting Keith Elaine's club up early in the first period, in the second period on the power play, and so it's 1-0 heading into the third period, and all of a sudden, well, this one qualifies an offensive explosion. We've also had some pretty good saves in this game, too. It's setting up for a great 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third.
Fortunato goes back. Oh, wow, look at that. He gets deflected up and over the crossbar.
They're attacking those D. Fortunato, smallest one of them all, they're going right after him, trying to make him pay the price with the puck, and he almost did there.
Hit it. That deflected down by Eichel. Eichel works it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez. Tied up by O'Gara. Best defensive defenseman in ECAC hockey. Chara able to get this up, but not out, just off the bench. Grizzly gets it. Grizzly gets tangled up. Penalty call coming up here. And the Terriers will get a power play with under 3 to play. Grizzly tripped up, draws the call.
Carson Cooper's going to sit down, but before we show you this, let's go back to the play where you would say perhaps that Fortunato a bit fortunate on this one as he's holding on to the puck. Cody learned it right there, pushing it, and it just goes over the crossbar and the head of the netminder, Matt O'Connor. As learned it's going to miss the puck right here, and then the dive. See, that's the play right there. He leaves his feet, takes him down. Easy call for the officials. Doesn't matter that there's just 2:59 remaining in the third. A clear-cut tripping call, and BU goes on the power play. We're going to have a timeout taken here.
Another great game coming up here in the Northeast Regional. When this one ends, 5:30 scheduled time for Minnesota and Minnesota Duluth. That'll be on ESPNU. Two teams from the state of hockey coming all the way out east to battle for the 5th time this year in the 5th different building.
They can play anywhere, huh?
They could. They could go up to St. Louis Bay and play outside of Duluth on the lake if they wanted to. Look at Keith Elaine, the head coach of the Yale Bulldogs.
All right, now, obviously, Yale is going to get themselves set for the penalty kill. It starts with winning the faceoff. That's what they're talking about. But then they're also going to be talking about backdoor plays and making sure not to overcommit. You know, Yale's best when they don't overcommit, when they protect that front of the net. Won't be surprised if BU looks to perhaps some other angles just to get the puck on net and get net front presence. If you don't screen Lyon, he's proven. Now, granted, he had that one goal that went in that he'd like to have back, the Rodriguez goal. I like the way how he's shaking that off, don't come back. But if you don't screen him, pretty darn good goaltender. He's going to see it right there.
A little extra rest for Jack Eichel there with a timeout. And, yep, he comes right over the boards.
Oh, yeah.
To be involved in this one. It is the top power play unit for the Terriers.
And that was BU who called the timeout there. So Yale still has theirs. BU's done. Keep an eye on Oxenden in front of the net. That's his comfort zone area. That's where he likes to be.
Eichel against Wilson. Oxenden helps win that faceoff back up to Grizzly. Giving over to Rodriguez. Grizzly to Eichel. Eichel on the goal line. O'Regan back to Grizzly. Shot. That skips wide. Cleared out. Just out. Getting enough of that was Ruffalo.
Yeah, you know what? You saw Garrett come out and really go one-on-one with Eichel in his own. So it seems right now that they're going to challenge Jack Eichel and try and take him out of the play. That's Yale I'm talking about. So BU's going to look for some other options to shoot the puck besides just Eichel.
Grizzly throws that back to Eichel on the backhand. Eichel trying to work down into the corner. Eichel comes away with it. A couple Yale players kind of got tangled up down there, and Oxenden gets a shot that goes wide. Grizzly to Rodriguez. Now O'Regan. Back for Rodriguez. Grizzly, a shot here, and a crease violation on Oxenden. Sends the faceoff outside.
You know, you can be aggressive at Jack Eichel, but you have to be careful also of being overly aggressive as the puck is going to come into the corner. you're going to see two Bulldogs. O'Gara's going to come out, and he runs into his own player on Doherty right there on the switch. You got to be careful. Eichel had the puck low. They weren't sure where he was going to move it to, but O'Gara, he exits his spot, ends up running into his own player, and it ends up into Mike Doherty. Almost a very dangerous play there.
Lyon continues it around the boards here. And DeChara able to lift it up and over everyone and down ice. Rodriguez waiting for teammates here as the Terriers get some different power play guys out there here with 38 seconds left now on this man advantage. Holman working in. Obakowski staples him into the boards. Largion comes in to try to knock it free. It's back up for Fortunato. He sends it down low. Holman rolls it up to Hickey. Now Fortunato. Over to Hickey. One-timer in front. Oh, it was there for a moment, but Lane couldn't find it in time.
Hickey's got a heck of a shot. Fortunato's going to look for him regularly for that one-timer.
Holman at the half boards. Back up for Hickey. Fortunato to Hickey. Tries to go cross ice. This puck picked up by Holman. Holman comes off the boards with it, sends it down low. Yale back at full strength. Hickey at the point. Fortunato throws it to the middle. That one gets knocked to the corner. Cooper just out of the box, able to send it ahead for Lerner. And now DeChara. DeChara is clearing, got knocked down by Hickey. Cooper going after this in the corner. About half a minute remaining here in the third. Belargion. Whittick at center will dump it back in. Fortunato back behind the net. Belargion here on the wall. Belargion clears. Rodriguez knew that was coming. He hustles ahead, but sticking with him is O'Gara, and there'll be a penalty call here with 10 seconds to go in the third.
Wow. A call like that, Keith Lane can't believe it. It's a lead play. It's it's lofting the puck down the ice. You're going to negate the icing if you get there. Rodriguez, does he get inside position? No. They're calling it a hook. I don't know. I don't see it.
That's a pretty good puck battle.
I don't see that. I see that being a one-on-one battle. I see the stick, both players initiating contact. Rodriguez, the stick's parallel. That might be what the official saw there for him to make that call. Huge call with 10 seconds remaining.
Eichel plays it up to the middle. Rodriguez, a shot, it's blocked. Comes loose, there's a and a shot, no! No go, says Lyon. As the third comes to an end, some sticks started being raised, but Lyon gets it with the piece of the glove, and then it hits the crossbar, and this game heads to overtime.
What a finish to regulation. What an amazing finish as the puck is pushed down low. The quick shot, off the right shoulder, off the crossbar, and then doesn't fall into the net. Eichel waiting for the puck to come free with Oxenden and O'Regan on the other side. It doesn't. Lyon gets the benefit or the bounce of the crossbar and then down. Here's crossbar, down, and he is so fortunate that doesn't go right shoulder and back into the net. He's leaning a little forward. The overhead's going to show you even better. He gets lucky. Yale gets lucky. They just get lucky. That's what it is. If that hits the shoulder and bounce, you can easily see that bouncing into the net. But it doesn't. BU will go on the power play to start overtime. What a finish.
2-2 after regulation. Matt Schick and Dave Starman. Send it back to them in the studio.
Thank you, guys. What a way to start. The road to the Frozen Four here. Yale and BU knotted up as we go to some extra hockey. Matt Schick along with Dave Starman. So we went the first, 48 minutes with one goal, then a 5-minute stretch with 3 goals. What happened there in the third?
I think when you take a look at the goals, some of them were kind of interesting. The BU goals, you get that rebound play by Oxenden, and then you get that other goal that they manufactured. And then you take a look at Yale's goal, and I thought Billy brought it up pretty well. They sealed the wall off, got a good little centering pass. It's about guys jumping in open spots and hitting open spots. But I think the key thing right there in period number 3 was the response by BU. For 2 periods, their passes were long. They weren't very accurate. They weren't connecting very well. They weren't coming up with good support. I thought in period 3, when they mounted that furious rush, take a look back and you will see how many passes were 5 to 10 feet. Puck support was there, attacking with layers, attacking with depth, attacking with width and speed across the blue line. That, to me, was a huge reason why BU was able to turn that period around.
And then big story coming out of that third period at the end. Hooking call there on O'Gara. What did you say?
Here's the thing, and I know Todd Anderson and Derek Shepard very well as officials, and I think that standing at ice level, Billy brought it up about the stick being parallel to the ice when that call was made. And then the call before it, the one you're seeing just there a second ago, that was a player leaving his feet to try to swipe at the puck and got the feet. Now, with the NCAA, if you get the puck and the man to take the man down, it's still a penalty. It's not a rule I like. Officials have to call it. In that situation, they didn't even get the puck. It was just skates, and that justified the call.
And then sometimes you do need to get a little lucky. Physics, angles working in the favor of Lyon and company. He's been terrific. He's been beaten twice there in that third, but did make the save there at the end.
Oh, gosh, was that a great save? And like I said, when you're lucky, you've got to be good. And when you're good, you've got to be lucky. And Lyon has covered up some of the mistakes that Yale's defense has made and some of the great opportunities that BU has presented. And BU's top line and a guy like Grzelcyk, they had a great third period. And he was there. And then back at the end there, by an inch, right? He kept this game from going, getting this game to overtime.
You take it. Got some overtime coming up here on ESPNU. Meanwhile, we'll get you out to some hockey right now. It's on ESPN3. Watch ESPN app. It's Michigan Tech and St. Cloud State. Huskies and Huskies, West Region semifinals. Let's listen.
And it was broken up and sent to the corner. Boy, the speed of Michigan Tech is apparent here early. Another drive, pad save by Lindgren. To the point, shot deflected off the end boards as Chris Leibinger sent it on net. And it swung back in deep. There's Prochnow trying to move it out for St. Cloud State. Great forecheck here by Michigan Tech.
Well, I guess so. They are all over the puck. This line of Heinonen and his crew out there, Neville and Johnson, they were all over the puck, doing a great job of bringing pressure.
This is the 11th NCAA appearance. They've been playing for their postseason life since January 1st. They were in jeopardy of finishing below 500, which automatically disqualifies a team from the national tournament. They kept that bubble from bursting with a win over North Dakota in the NCHC semis last week in Minneapolis. Here in the Tech zone, played back out to neutral. Daly, pass ahead for Brodzinski, long shot, got it in high on Phillips, who was able to bat it away. But Brodzinski is a sniper. He'll shoot from anywhere, and he's got a heavy shot. This one squirts out in front in the slot, and it's picked off there by Ike. Ike off for Stamen. That's Dylan Stamen who carries it in over the line. And now I get a whistle.
All right, that's a sneak peek there in the West Region. Michigan Tech, St. Cloud State, ESPN3. Watch ESPN app. Get out your tablet. You won't need your tablet tonight, although you can. North Dakota coming up tonight. Number 1 seed in that West Region. Number 2 overall seed. They'll take on Quinnipiac, a Quinnipiac team that lost in the final a couple of years ago to Yale. Yale right now hanging with BU as we are headed to overtime. Coming up, we will look ahead to some other action, including Duluth and Minnesota. The battle of the Hockey State. Look, you can call it luck all you want, but there's a reason that Alex Lyon leads the nation goals against, average, and save percentage. Look at that save.
Hey, athletics, acrobatics. The guy has got a great ability to get himself in front of pucks or have pucks get in front of him.
That is why we are in overtime. BU out shooting Yale 14-2. They're in that third period. Oh, let's do it again. Minnesota, Duluth, and Minnesota for the 5th time this season and the 228th time all-time in-state battle galore tonight.
The goal for Duluth, take care of the puck and limit Minnesota's ability to get in transition. They want to push the pace. For Minnesota, their Ds are so good at making the offense go.
That's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on ESPNU. Again, the Golden Gophers' 4th straight NCAA appearance, 36th overall. They were the preseason #1 team. What has gone well for Minnesota maybe over the last couple of weeks that hadn't prior?
Mike Riley. And he has been tremendous, and he plays with Jake Bischoff on defense. And, the one thing that Riley can do, he is a one-man breakout. He's a wonderful player to watch, great skills, great feet, and a tremendous ability to pass the puck or take the puck with him and get up the ice. And like I said, Minnesota's got 2 very good lines in their top 6, and with the way that their defense plays and the way that their Ds get up the ice, it makes that double threat even that much better.
Riley, great defenseman, Hobie Baker finalist as well, 42 points to lead the team, plus 25 as well. Good things happen when he's on the ice. Good things happen for BU in that third period. Again, a couple of goals. We are evened up. Overtime coming up. We are headed to overtime in New Hampshire. BU with a couple of goals there in that third period. There's one of them. And the regulation here coming up. in New Hampshire. So in overtime, look, that third period was all BU. Outshot the Bulldogs 14-2. More the same here in OT?
Oh, I think absolutely. I think BU has got their jam going. They got their game on track. I still think Yale's got the ability to settle this thing down, control the pace, and play the way they play. But right now, you're talking about elite-level players at the NCAA level feeling really good about their game in terms of BU's top line, in terms of a guy like Grizzlick, in terms of a guy like Hickey, and the goaltending has been very good on both sides. So you think to yourself in overtime, you favor the more talented team, that would be BU, but can BU continue to infiltrate where they have against Yale?
You also had a comment while we were watching the game about Eichel. These are the moments when the best players step up. What do you expect to see from him individually here in OT?
I expect to see that Eichel's going to try to manage the puck well. I think he's going to take it to the net every opportunity that he can to use that long reach of his. He has pass options. He'll take them, obviously. But to me, when you're a big-time player, end a big-time game by using your skill set.
Yale 3-0 all-time in the NCAA tournament in overtime. Only Lake State has a better record in overtime in the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, in progress moments ago, West Region, Tanner Carroll, Hobie Baker finalist, gets Tech on the board.
Yeah, he has been a scoring sensation this year. His line has been really good. He's got those magic hands. He follows up. Charlie Lindgren, the goalie for St. Cloud State, tried to get big. Not big enough.
That's his 20th goal on the season. 1-0 up on Michigan Tech, up on St. Cloud State. Huskies up on the Huskies, as we expected they would be. Michigan Tech, 29 wins here on the season. First time in 34 years they've been in the tournament. How dangerous a team is this here in the tournament?
Very dangerous because they've got a really good top two lines. They've got a lot of depth. I mean, when you talk about the NCAA tournament, one of the things you always look at is veterans. They've got a lot of upperclassmen who have really bought into what Mel Pearson has been selling. They've gotten goaltending. Their defense has been very solid. I think for Michigan Tech, they really believe in what they're doing, and that sometimes could be what you need.
It's their 11th NCAA tournament appearance. You mentioned the upperclassmen, 13 of them there on that Husky roster for Michigan Tech. Let's take you live again for a short bit. Michigan Tech and St. Cloud State. It's Clay Matvick, Sean Richland on the call.
Backhand being rattled from behind by Shane Hanna, the WCHA All-Rookie team member last year. Michigan Tech gets it back to center. Callie Kosela trying to move it back into the Michigan Tech zone. Prochnow does. St. Cloud State makes a line change, as does Michigan Tech. And here's Carroll back out on the ice for Tech, leading 1-0 as we're approaching the midway point of period number 1. Morley stapled up against the wall, taking off the puck. Gillies flips it back into the St. Cloud zone. There is Nathan Widman, the left-handed defenseman, to play it for St. Cloud State. He's bumped off the puck. Carroll plays it to the point nicely for Cliff Watson. Watson, a shot for Patan that whistles wide. Boy, Carroll's got eyes in the back of his head. How he saw that guy at the point, I will never know. Still dangerous here. Lurking along the side of the cage is Carroll. Now Gillies takes a hit from Widman. Puck squirts to the far corner.
All right, Michigan Tech up 1-0. That's on ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app. You want to watch overtime? Hang with us on ESPNU. Yale and BU in a dandy. Extra hockey next.
Heading into overtime, Dan Parker's Billy Jaffe here in Manchester. A 2-2 score. Well, here's how we got into this overtime session. Midway through the game, Billy, it was scoreless, but the Yale Bulldogs get on the board first late in the second.
13-19 mark of the second period. A little punch wrist shot from Nate Rapensky from the point on the power play. A little traffic in front of Frankie DeChar makes it 1-0. BU, though, is going to pick up the pace as they finally get themselves to the front of the net. They start playing a little more grind out. Monty Oxenden gets the first one. Then Evan Rodriguez with a goal that Lyon would like to have back. Frankie DeChar, though, he's got his goaltender's back. Just less than 2 minutes after that, with a quick snapshot from the pass of Cody Learn. And then right near the end of the game, BU with an opportunity. The puck coming to the net, slap towards the net, off the shoulder, off the crossbar, underneath. Alex Lyon, as he's lying on it, Danny O'Regan couldn't believe it right there.
So here's where we are. Rapensky and DeChar with goals for the Bulldogs. Oxenden and Rodriguez. Jack Eichel off the score sheet so far in this one. Here are the overtime rules. We'll play 20-minute sudden death overtimes, no TV timeouts. First goal sends you to the next round of the Northeast Regional.
And again, BU lives up to their third period ways. They're starting the overtime on the power play. Just allowed 2 shots on goal, though, to Yale in the third period.
In fact, the DeChar goal was the last shot on goal in the third period for the Yale Bulldogs. Here we go, overtime records. BU's Jack Eichel, first BU player in history to have 3 overtime goals in a season. Played across here, Grizzlick set it up, and the jam by O'Regan wouldn't go. Fallon. Buffalo will be able to clear.
What a way to start the overtime. Right
O'Regan's had 2. End of the regulation and right there in the start of overtime.
They get their speed generated off the breakout.
Eichel in, centers one. That pinball's around in front. Grizzlick played it over to O'Regan, but Grizzlick, the point man, was down in the corner, so O'Regan's play up the wall gets all the way down.
Fortunate break there for Yale. They can change their penalty killers both front and back.
Rodriguez up the middle of the lane, flipped across, kicked into the zone. Homan a sharp angle bid and a stop by Lyon.
Go back to that first opportunity, starting overtime, fresh sheet of ice, fresh legs, fresh attitude, right? Coming up the ice, going wide to the left is going to be Grizzlick. He's going to bring it to the front of the net. There's O'Regan. There's a good defensive play there, too, by the forward coming back. Number 6, Stu Wilson. Such a good two-way player there, Dan. Excellent read. Stick down on the ice again. I thought Lyon got it with the pad. I think it was Wilson that ended up making a better play there.
Hickey clears it down. That finds its way between the circles where it gets bashed down ice by Ruffalo. Fortunato out there as the power play unit now includes Homan, Hickey, Lane, and Belargian. Homan tried to wrap it around. That's intercepted. Fortunato, a nice contain here. Landon Fortunato.
Trying to get Hickey for the one-timer if they can.
Homan tries to center, gets deflected, and then a defenseman's stick actually tucked that puck underneath the netminder line. A face-off here. Late power play chance. 7 seconds to go as the overtime just gets started here in Manchester.
Now, even though Alex Lyon's club allowed BU to get into the zone, or we should just say BU was able to get into the zone, they did a nice job that time of getting set, keeping to the outside. BU again trying to get the one-timer to the stick of Hickey, number 4 in white, but protecting him and also protecting the front of the net.
Fortunato cleared around. No TV timeouts here in the overtime session. No extra breaks for Jack Eichel, but he's into the zone here now for a shot that is stopped by Lyon. He holds on.
You know, I don't think that he doesn't need the TV timeouts right now. You know, he senses, Stars sense this moment, and he wants it. He wants the puck on his stick. This is where he wants to shine. He always wants to score, make no doubt about it. But now this is where he really wants to be a difference maker. I would call his game okay. Again, he hasn't been the difference maker. Perhaps they were hoping, his fans were hoping, the coaching staff were hoping. But there's a sense come overtime, this is the kind of guy you want because he wants the puck.
Eichel tries to play it down. Gets deflected back out in the center ice. This is the 64th time these two teams have met. First time ever in NCAA tournament play, and even 30 wins for each team to go along with 3 ties coming into tonight. Last time these teams battled was back in the 2006-2007 season.
Let's keep an eye on things, too. They had that marginal penalty call. You didn't agree with it going into right before overtime. Let's see if that impacts the officials and they keep it tight and call one perhaps the other way, or at least keep the standard at the same level.
Little spin shot there that gets up into the shoulder of Lyon. He'll grab a hold of it for a face-off.
Yale doesn't seem to, they'll bend a little bit, but because I think of their style and because I think how they are as a team, they understand they're built from that man out, from Alex Lyon out. They don't seem to break. It's a type of team that they don't make a lot of unforced errors in the game. Look, he was good. They're going to get their chances, and they stepped it up in the third period. Again, they held Yale to just 2 shots on goal. But not a lot of turnovers, not a lot of mistakes coming from the Yale Bulldogs.
Hayden works his way up into the zone. Quickly back behind the net. Summerby. Given to Greer, out to center ice. Here's Holman. Nifty little step into the zone. Holman tries to center one that goes off the outside of the net. Picked up here by Oxenden. One of the 2 Terrier goals in the game. Shoots that one through but wide. Summerby down from the point. He'll take a shot, and Lyon has it in the glove. Of course, this game now in overtime will push back the start of our second Northeast Regional semifinal between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. Whenever this one ends, there'll be a 53-minute break before that one gets started. If you're a Gopher or a Bulldog fan, wondering when your team might get on the ice here tonight.
And hang in there. And keep watching and keep joining us. We take a look at the NCAA Hockey Championship brackets there quickly. This is going to be tough for both Minnesota and Minnesota Duluth. We were talking before we came back on the game here for the overtime. You get out of routine as a player, that's a tough thing.
Icing here against Yale.
But that's the nature of this great tournament. And Keith Elaine, who has a championship from a few years back with this Yale team, and that man there too. David Quinn understands what it takes to win one, being part of the 09 team and as the associate head coach under Jack Parker.
Back behind the net. Belargian looks to wrap it around, but that's broken up. Belargian here. Being tied up with O'Gara in the corner. Back around behind the net. It's worked out into center ice. There is Wittick sent it to center. There's Merlian with a shot here off of Fortunato. That caroms over to the far side. Fortunato. Played around towards Hickey. Trying to clear it out. Here's some of the things we saw in the first period. A turnover. Gives an opportunity here for a shot there that gets wide. Might have got a piece of the blocker of O'Connor on the way by on the shot from DeChara. Fallon tries a shot. That one's blocked by O'Regan, who stayed right with him. Olsen clears his head. Now a 2-on-1 and down low into the zone. O'Regan back across. Olsen couldn't get the shot away. Trying to force it to the front of his lane, but it never got there. DeChara. Up into center ice. Cooper across the line. Back over to DeChara where it was broken up.
DeChara wants the puck on his stick, doesn't he? Doesn't he want it? We saw him score that goal to tie it up in the third period. He got it again in overtime. As you said, a very Yale-like play.
Here's DeChara with it now. Hit by McLeod. Shakes the check. Centers it. Hayden. Couldn't find that puck as it bounced to the middle, and Grizzle will be able to get it tied.
Yeah, you got to be careful here. You feel like you're getting an opportunity. Do not extend your ship. That goes for both teams right there. You get your opportunity, get off the ice. If you try and think, oh, I can get one more, next thing you know, you're extended. Remember, you're switch sides here. It's the long switch here in overtime. It could lead to a mistake.
Puck comes up the wall. Summerby reads it to step across the blue line and keep it in. Flipped out to center here. Wilson. Wilson up the middle. Plays it over for a shot there by Ruffalo. Gloved by O'Connor. And Yale fans want to call as Wilson gets tumbled down there at the side of the net.
Dumped to the side, but neither official with their arms up. Some fun action though early on here in overtime. Both teams coming close to scoring goals. You had Yale at one end. This is after DeChara's opportunity. O'Regan protecting the puck. Olsen has it heel off his stick and just wide by the net. There's the quick shot coming from the left side. And there's Wilson being a human bowling ball. Coming to the side, and he catches an edge, slips past.
First shot in almost 12 minutes of game action for the Yale Bulldogs. As we're 5.5 minutes into the overtime here, Fortunato kicks that down low.
Such a confident bunch. We heard that word used an awful lot about from their head coach onto all their players. You know, they might not get a lot of shots, but they're confident in the way that they play, and therefore they're not going to panic if they don't get a lot of offensive chances. They just need to bury one.
Biako in. That's intercepted by Hickey, banked off the glass out. Lipinski, his power play goal, got the scoring started in this one back in the second period. Brandon Fortunato for BU. Bowman will clear in. Lipinski sends this one bouncing into the zone. That gets in on net as it kept hopping. Doherty with it here. His shot blocked by Lane. Doherty just has to spin it down the wall now. That's going to get to the near side. Hitchcock will try to chase it down. Hitchcock centers it. Came loose. Back for Doherty. You got to stick on it. We could just knock it to the corner. Belargian clears it to the line. Obakowski knocked it down. Back into the zone. And an offside call here.
Well, remember we saw earlier before we went to overtime, Rodriguez was led on a flip play that led to the penalty against O'Gara. Here's a similar type of play. Hitchcock's going to just kind of bear down on Grizzly. He's just going to snooker it towards the net, hope for some type of an opportunity. Just kind of pokes it right there, a little pool cue almost there. And good focus by the netminder O'Connor, and punches the puck away from the net so it doesn't lead to another opportunity with a rebound.
O'Connor drops it down, keep it going. Grizzly, hit there by Cooper. Cooper gets it, centers it. Rodriguez picks that off. Rodriguez finds Eichel. Eichel strides into the zone. Knocked away and into the corner by Whittick.
Really good, solid defensive play there by Whittick, understanding that he's going to try and make a move on him.
Rodriguez plays one across. Grizzly circling.
Whittick is without a stick right now, and he's one-on-one with Eichel.
Grizzly, give it to Summerby. Flips it down into the corner. Summerby tied up down there. Summerby trying to come away with it. Summerby finds Rodriguez. It's knocked away. Eichel takes his shot. Save made. Rebound. Score! Danny O'Regan wins it for the Terriers with 12:33 to go in overtime.
The best player on that line in this game, Dan, was Danny O'Regan. And he comes through after Eichel covers at the point. Gets the shot on net, and O'Regan patiently puts it into the net. You want to talk about not panicking. You want to talk about confident with the puck. Hello, Danny O'Regan. And BU wins the game.
22nd goal of the season for O'Regan, the junior out of Needham, Mass. in St. Sebastian's.
With the puck at the point, coming back after Doyle Summerby uses his body to get down the wall. Eichel's going to lock and load, gets it on net. The defender O'Gara can't release quickly enough over to O'Regan. He makes it look easy because he brings it into himself, gets the shot off. There's no chance for Lyon there. But what a nice play. What a real nice play by the defense. First Grizzly, and then again Summerby getting involved. The switch up top. Summerby pushes it down low. That creates a little change down low. That means that Yale has got to come out of their structure just a bit. Summerby wins the battle. Puck is going to end up going back to the point. And again, right off the rebound, picks it, shoots it, ends it. BU wins.
So the Terriers advance to tomorrow's Northeast Regional Final. They will face off against the winner of our second semifinal between Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota. Danny O'Regan, the game winner for the Terriers. Take a look at our brackets here in the Northeast Regional. Coming up next, a state of hockey battle between the Bulldogs and the Golden Gophers. A 3-2 overtime win for the Boston University Terriers. They move on to tomorrow. So BU, a 3-2 overtime win. We'll be back with more coverage from Manchester. But first, let's check in with Matt Schick and Dave Starman in the studio.
Thank you, guys. What a great finish. Great start to this NCAA Men's Hockey Championship. Matt Schick, along with the aforementioned Dave Starman. BU, look, for the first 2 periods, it just did not look like the BU team we're accustomed to. Third period overtime, very much so.
How many times have you seen a team go into a game that everybody assumes that they should win and not look very good very early? And it happens to number 1 seeds a lot in this tournament. It takes them a while to get themselves on track because the pressure is on them. But BU recovered, as we mentioned, in period number 3, and they really brought it here in period number 4, the overtime period. And I thought Billy nailed it perfectly when BU pulled that switch up top on the zone with the 2 defensemen moving and then threw the puck down low. What happened? It got Yale moving. It got Yale out of their coverage. It got Yale scrapping around, and all of a sudden, everybody was focused on the puck. When you get mesmerized by the puck, bad things can happen. It's always the guy without the puck that becomes the most dangerous player on the ice. O'Regan read that Yale was in a coverage issue switch, and he went behind the coverage and buried a rebound. It was a great read.
And Eichel only had a few shots here in this game, but from the point there on that last play does create something. He's created for his teammates all year.
You know, the one thing he does is he reads plays real well. He did it again.
He did. BU survives and advances. Let's get back out to New Hampshire right now. Dan and Billy, guys.
Dan Parker's Billy Jaffe upstairs in Manchester after Boston University earns a 3-2 overtime win over the Yale Bulldogs. The guy who won it for the Terriers, Danny O'Regan. Danny, just take us for that first, take us look at that play. Tell us how it's set up for you and how you're able to pot the game winner.
We had a pretty good shift on the with Somoza in possession, and I think it was Doyle did a great job pinching at the blue line and kept the puck in. And then it squirted out to Jack up top, and he just put one on the net and got a lucky bounce, came right to me, and I was able to bury it.
Danny, your team continues to be significantly, let's just say, better in the third period sometimes. Not that you guys haven't been good earlier on in the season in games, but what is it about the third period that you guys, and here in overtime, continue to shine with?
I don't know. We just seem to be able to flip that switch when it comes to crunch time. And, you know, this one was a little different because, you know, it was first time it could have been our last game and our last period. So we really stepped up for the older guys in the locker room, for our seniors. And, you know, everyone just seemed to come together and play their best 20 in the third and then in overtime, too. So I don't know what it is about us, but we always seem to come through late.
So you don't know who you'll face tomorrow, whether it be Minnesota, Duluth, or Minnesota. But what can your team do better tomorrow night?
You know, like you mentioned, come out and play a hard 20 minutes to start the game, and we know they're gonna be a fast team no matter who we play. So, you know, we can't give up, you know, even 1 minute of it. We got to play a full 60 minutes and make sure we're working hard throughout.
Danny O'Regan, good luck to you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
So O'Regan, the game winner, his Terriers, a 3-2 overtime win. Back to the studio, Matt Schick and Dave Starman.
Thanks, guys. They hit